Now, let me say this. Let me stretch my back. Okay. I'm sitting straight up. You know, tall brother. Sometimes we got them lower back issues. Okay. The loosey goosey. You the loosey goosey. You
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right, they was getting in at that block party with the electric slide. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing all right. Welcome. I forgot to put it in a poll. Let me put a poll question up right here. Would you want Umar Johnson to speak to your children? I'll say to lecture your children. Let's do that one. To lecture your children. Make sure you vote on the poll. All right. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. We got a bit to get into during this live stream. I'm gonna try to get right on into so that we won't be here too long. We're trying to do shorter shows. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in to my YouTube page. This is actually a downside right now, a downturn with the Umar Johnson content. I've been talking about this more recently. He's not in the algorithm, and more and more people are waking up. And he rarely talks about FDMG, and I think he knows that people have recognized, many people have recognized that he's a scam artist and a charlatan. But we will continue to report on Umar, and today we're going to be getting into a video from last week, actually it's about 6 days ago, where Umar he spoke in front of children. And this was down there in Nat Turner land, I think it's Druryville, Virginia, something to that effect. And just full disclosure, what I did is I've taken segments from different videos and mashed them all together. There's a brother that speaks in the beginning, and then Umar speaks, but I'm taking different clips from different angles, and then I had to pick the one that had the best audio because some of the audio is really, really bad, and I had to work on it to get it so that it sounds okay. So I hope you guys can bear with me on that. So I want to get into that video here today. Also, before we do that, I want to show you guys something dealing with Umar and something that he posted on his Instagram page a couple of days ago. Okay. Let's see. CJ says, tonight's game, take a drink every time Lenon takes a super chat down because he deems it inappropriate. It's going to happen, I'm sure. Yeah, it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about that, though. Some stuff is too, sometimes it's people with their posts. Sometimes it's their avatars over the top. So I have to make sure that I try to keep it as clean as possible. Yeah, it's been a long time. Back in the day, it was a different type of a show. I would get up here and I would have a PowerPoint presentation. I didn't curse or anything like that. I wasn't laughing, wasn't having a good time. But these days it's totally different. We have a really good time, but there's a limit. Okay. And when it gets inappropriate, I try not to put the super chats up on the screen or read them. Sometimes I put them up too soon. I don't read them and I get hemmed up. Thank you, CJ. And then also Daxter says Manjal Files, a.k.a. Jermaine Kong, at it again. Yeah, and part of the reason why I think this video that we're going to get to here today is that if we think about everything that Umar Johnson has done and the types of things that he has said, including things that he said about children, why would anyone want their children to be in the presence of Umar in the first place, let alone have Umar talk to these children? See, what Umar did was he took the video of him talking and he posted on his Instagram page, and with the caption, it says something to the effect of the side of Umar they don't want you to see. As if he's working with children. No, he's not working with children. He's a bugaboo. He's the person who shows up and we're going to get into that in some more. But let me show you guys something real quick. So Umar posted this on his, and thanks Daxter, thanks CJ for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let me show you guys this real quick. So Umar posted this a couple of days ago on his Instagram page. Yeah, I'll mute the audio. So look what it says, King Kong Consciousness Tour Truck. Okay, why do you need a tour truck if you're supposed to be opening up a school for Black boys, and this school was supposed to open September 11, 2013? It's August 27th of 2026. But Umar, he posts these types of things. He don't even have his own vehicle. He uses donation money to rent cars and been living, he's been homeless since the end of 2019, living off his mama at the age of 52 in Section 8 housing. But he posts this, the audacity of this guy. But what he's doing is he's just trying to see how his followers respond. If they say stuff, if enough of them would say, hey, yeah, you need that and blah, 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 then he'll start talking about it more. And then he may even tell people to donate for a tour bus. Okay, but this isn't the only thing. I want to go way back, okay, because he posted this a couple of days ago here in August of 2026, about to be September. Let's go back to 2014, though. He posted this. Thank you for making this an incredible year. Happy holidays, Dr. Umar Johnson, Prince of Pan Africanism. The best is yet to come. And then he has a jet back there, and the jet on the right engine, it says Dr. Umar, as if this is his jet, or as if he deserves a jet. And that's just messaging to his donors. This guy, Umar, he's something else. One other thing I'd found in that same folder, just to remind people, Umar, this is another scam that he was running back in the day. It was called the Shockumentary, Race First Films, in association with the Prince of Pan Africanism Publishing, Psychoacademic War Against Black Boys, the Shockumentary, coming to a theater near you, fall of 2014. Okay, he was collecting money for this through 2022, and this Shockumentary still does not exist. But it shows a pattern of behavior with Umar. He makes all these promises about what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. And he asks people for money because he asks money for this Shockumentary, and then he doesn't produce it. Just like FDMG. Okay, where is that school at? Because back in 2010, Umar posted promises in 2010 to begin laying the ground for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys, specialized in learning disability and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening September 11, 2013. So whether, and this still hasn't happened. Okay, we're in 2026. This trap bando, it's about to be this FDMG project in about 4 or 5 days. It's going to be, let's see, what is this? 13 years late. 13 years late. And so far, this Shockumentary is 12 years late, or it's about to be 12 years late because we're getting into the fall now. You guys see a pattern with Umar. Okay, he's a con man. He's a scam artist. One other thing I want to show you guys, then we're going to get into the main video. CJ says that vehicle is the bumpity but stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. That vehicle actually looks like it was AI to me. But ain't no telling these days. Thanks, CJ. Leah sent in 2 jewels, a silver star. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the support. Latoya says, hey, Lenon, sending high vibes and encouragement to you. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Latoya. I appreciate that. I actually need that right about now. Okay. There's been stuff that's been going on personally. I just haven't talked to people about it. Some of you guys probably have kind of guessed. It's kind of a bit of a transitional period for me, but I'm going to stick with it. And yeah, thank you for the kind words and the encouragement. You know, because you were around when I was really, really struggling. Not that I'm struggling now. I just got personal stuff that's been I've been dealing with, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to, you know, I don't know what put my stuff on you all. I'm gonna handle it the best I can. But you were around back when I was really struggling, you know, and you're still around, so I appreciate you for that. And as you can probably tell, I've made some achievements. I'm doing better. Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. Tell your husband I said hello. And then let's see, who's that girl says making promises and not fulfilling and not following through is something that deadbeat parents do. Not surprised at all. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Umar, he's made many promises over the years. We can put together a list, and I mean, it would be like hundreds of things that he said that he was going to do that he never did. Just in the February 2019 school announcement video alone, he made. I remember back in the day, we put together a whole list of those things. I could probably find it because it was in PowerPoint presentation. I can find it if I look for it. And if we looked at it today, there would probably be about 3% of the things that he said he was going to do. It's probably less than that. Probably 1% of the things he said he was going to do that was on that list, he actually did. Everything else that he said he was going to do and he promised that he was going to do under the guise of people sending him money, he didn't fulfill. And the first Umar Johnson video I did when I first started to report on Umar way back in the day, it was called "A Promise That Goes Unfulfilled Is Nothing More Than a Lie." So all of these things that Umar Johnson said that he's going to do, it's, you know, these are just lies. And yeah, that's how deadbeat parents, they're the same way. You know, I'm gonna come. I had I ain't gonna say too much, but I had a relative who, my uncle, he got upset because it was his nephews, one of my cousins. I'll just say that because my cousin's dad kept telling him that he was gonna come and pick him up and spend time with him. And my cousin would sit and look out the window waiting for his dad. His dad wouldn't show up. And this happened so many times. My uncle, he got really mad. He told me he was going to, you know, beat. I ain't going to use a term that he used, but he was going to put hands on my cousin's dad because of that. It's horrible. It's just so horrible. But yeah, Umar, he's like that. You know, he's a deadbeat in his real life. He got at least 3 baby mamas. He may have 4. I still got to go back to that document. In fact, I got to remind myself. Research 4th, but I know for sure he has 3. Yeah. So I mean, we can think about this. Umar's like a deadbeat to his followers. Like he makes all these promises and he says he's going to do all these things. And the difference is that his followers are like his children that he abandons and doesn't fulfill anything, but also they send him money. Okay, he should be supporting them, but they support him as he operates as a deadbeat. FDMG is a deadbeat project. The Shockumentary is a deadbeat project. The Rules of Romance is a deadbeat project. All the conferences Umar said he was going to do is a deadbeat project. The dirt bike team is a deadbeat project. The list goes on and on and on. Building an observatory on the roof is a deadbeat project. He's a deadbeat. All the way across the world, yes, but all the way across the board, whether it is you look at all the promises that he made to his donors and his supporters, or you look at in real life when you deal with his own children, he's a deadbeat. Thanks. Who's that girl? Thanks for being a member for 18 months. Yeah, we just did a members live too. We're covering Cheyenne Bryant and Jaquel Pitts. It's wild. Next week we're going to be watching an interview where the interview host asked Jaquel Pitts about his university, and that's the university that he claims he has. And then he states that he's given Cheyenne Bryant a degree, a doctorate, like she earned credits at his fake university. And then I showed, based upon the research, he claims to have, what was it, 16 degrees? Was it more than that? Let me just read. I'll just read this to you real quick, and then we'll move on. But shout out to all of the members. We had a great members live. We'll do it again next week. Yeah, so 11 different colleges and universities, 26 degrees in total, 16 associates, 1 bachelor's, 1 master's, 1 postmaster's degree, 7 PhDs, 55 honors and awards, and 106 licenses and certifications. Yeah, it's crazy. But we've been covering him and Cheyenne Bryant recently. How's it going, Tristan? Thanks for doing it on. Liz in the building. Francisco's here's Afro Punk Chick. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Who's that girl? By the way, now that you bring this up, and these days I don't have any animosity towards my father. I mean, I probably talked with him maybe. I can't even. I don't know. I've probably seen him maybe about. I would estimate maybe about. I don't know, maybe 8 times, or let's say 10, maybe 10 times since I was about 14. And maybe a little more, maybe 12, let's say 12 times since I was about 14. Let's say, yeah, it's about 12 times. I've talked to him more than that, but I haven't talked to him much. But I remember there was a time my wife and I, we were trying to get him, because he abandoned the family, but he doesn't help out with anything. My kids don't even know what he looked like. My siblings have had issues too. It's just he just doesn't care. That's just the type of person that he is, and it is what it is. You know, I've accepted it, and my whole thing is that as long as I do better than him, then it's all good. Okay, and he has his own set of struggles and his own set of issues too. I recognize that too. So I have levels of compassion that these days, as I've gotten older, than I had when I was younger. But the point I want to make is that there was a time when we were trying to get him to be active in our children's life as a grandparent. And I remember one time he was on the phone with one of my sons. I think it was my older son. Yeah, I think it was with my, and they were young. They were probably like maybe 6 or 7 years old. Maybe a little older, maybe 10. No, yeah, maybe about 8 years old, somewhere around there. And I could hear the conversation because I was standing right there. And he was saying, he was promising that he's going to do this for them and he's going to get this for them and he's going to take them here and there and all this stuff. And he never did any of that stuff, you know? And so at a certain point, I had a conversation with my wife. I said, no, we're not going to put our children through that. We're not going to do that. So because I've been through that and my cousins went through that and a whole host of other people. Many of you guys have done, but whether it's mother, father, or both. And so we made a decision that was going to be it. We tried to include him, but he just didn't give a shit, and he still doesn't. You know, I remember the last time he called me, it was because he used to do that. He would call me only when he was dealing with something. Like if he's struggling with something, he would call crying, and I get it. But he never called to ask about my wife. He never called to ask about my children. My children don't even know what his voice sounds like, but he would call every once in a while when he was going through something. And at a certain point, I said, I'm not putting up with this. It's abusive and it's unnecessary. And I don't need it. I don't need it in my life. So this is just an important lesson for all of us. And we tried our best, my wife and I, we tried to get him, you know, just to at least attempt to be a grandfather, but he wasn't a father. So it doesn't translate to him. It didn't translate to him in the first place to be a father. And then it doesn't translate to him to be a grandfather. And there are fathers and mothers who don't do well. Maybe they abandon their children, but then when the grandchildren are born, then they take a more active role and they're making, or at least they're attempting to make up for the difference. But then there are also parents that they decide not to for whatever reason. And they weren't parents to their children or to their grandchildren. And it is what it is. You know, that's life, you know. Thank you so much. Who's that girl? Okay. Okay, let's get into this. So I want to, before we get going here, I want to, someone had posted a very important message, and this ties to what we're going to be talking about here today. So I think it was a couple of, no, this was earlier this week. I think we covered the video where I was showing, we covered videos where I was showing Umar with his substance abuse issues. That was one video in particular where Umar, he's walking by at these strap banners. They're doing this video to promote FDMG, and he walks past these steps, and then he sees something, he turns back around. I'll play it for you guys real quick one time, and then I want to read you guys something that someone posted not too long ago, because it really kind of summarizes what I've been talking about when it deals with Umar, and then we'll get into the video where he's talking to children. Okay, all right, here we go. So this is from 2021.
Own for these buildings. We own them. You own them. It was the money of black people that purchased this campus. It was the money of black people that purchased this campus, brothers and sisters. And speaking of symbolism, speaking symbolically, brothers and
See, right there, he sees something and he's walked past it.
sisters,
He's still walking past it, but then he motions with his finger to the cameraman to just hold on, and then he turns back around.
let us also understand that
His eye is always fixed on it once he sees it. He sits down, he's still looking at it.
in a very symbolic way,
He fidgets with
in
it,
a very
and then he stops. Okay, why does he do that? Okay, we can't see anything right now, but the camera pans away,
symbolic way. If Wilmington, Delaware,
and you can see there's a little white rock right there. So I've already told people that this is dope fiend behavior. That's what dope fiends do. And Umar he's a dope fiend. Right? So I gave other examples of this type of behavior with Umar earlier this week, but I want to read something to you guys that someone posted. Okay, and I won't put their name, but I want to read this to you guys because it's important. To people who had addicts in the family or around them, and I had that growing up, that white rock on the steps that he fidgets with is very telling. Without going into details, I once saw someone I know take a piece of plaster from the ground near the wall of his home, near the wall of his room, because he thought it was something else, if you guys catch his drift. Later, he switched his drug of choice to something black. I don't feel comfortable to say what. Yeah, I don't even know what that would be. Anyone have any idea? And one time I saw him pick a small black thing from the floor because he thought he found some of that stuff. And I apologize for saying it, but it turned out to be a piece of this cat's poop. He always checked everything suspicious. Now listen to what I'm about to say, because I'm telling you what he told me, and honestly, it's very scary. I never forget it. One time he was confiding in me, and he told me addiction is the most terrible thing that a person can do to themselves, because all of your time and effort is dedicated to your addiction. Even when you just used and you're high, you're thinking about the next time, thinking about when you run out and you must provide it again. When you're good, you're disappointed of yourself. Let's see. When you're good, you are disappointed of yourself. When you're bad, you hate yourself. When you are going to work, you're anticipating to go home and use. If someone invited you somewhere, you're worried to go there because you might get home late and you'd be in bad shape. Yeah. See that, boy. I see this with Umar. How much of your money can you spend on important stuff like food and clothes because you need it for the stuff? You can't go to another place for vacation because you don't know any dealers there. I've talked about this with Umar. How can you provide if your dealer gets arrested or dies? Even when you're going to sleep, you're thinking of waking up in the morning and using. This is true. All your time, thoughts, and efforts are dedicated to satisfy the addiction. It never changes, and you can't stop using. You don't understand it unless you're an addict. Okay. And again, I've seen this growing up. So I know what this, and I've never done any drugs, but I've seen this growing up in my household. So I know what it is, and I've seen it. I grew up around it. And Umar, he's a dope fiend. So this kind of ties to what we're talking here about here. Would you want Umar Johnson lecturing your children? Knowing just that. There's other things too that we'll get in during this live stream, but just knowing that in and of itself, addiction it's a beast. And Umar has different addictions. He has substance abuse addiction. He has a gambling addiction. He has a sex addiction. He has a food addiction. Would you want him speaking to your children and lecturing your children? Okay. All right. Make sure you vote on the poll too, by the way. Okay, if you guys, I would really appreciate it. Okay, CJ says, doesn't Umar love for pale substances make him a bunny hopper? I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't call that bunny hopping. I don't know what we would call that. I have no idea. maybe a powder hopper. I don't know. Let me stop. We shouldn't joke about that. Okay, thanks, CJ. All right. Okay, so let's get to the main video. So just to give a context, Umar was down there in Juryville, I think it's Virginia. Correct me if I'm wrong inside the chat room. The girl said, Lenon's looking very Banana Republic tonight. Come on, you guys, stop. He's down there, and there is a brother who's speaking. I think this is Baba Khalifa, who's a scammer. This is his son. And I said it because I already have the receipts. Okay. I think this is his son. I believe this is his son, and he's talking to these children about because it's the Nat Turner trail. He's speaking to these children about Nat Turner. Okay, here we go. And this is from August 21st of 2026. Here we go.
I was one of my enslaved ancestors back then, and I saw one of my fellow captives fighting against the slave master. I'd have only one question. Can I be down? Can I be helped? We don't have time to be confused today. We got to pick a side and stay on that side.
So I blurred out the children. I do that whenever possible.
Beautiful thing about that is today, we don't necessarily have to do what Nat Turner did back then, but we are definitely going to have to.
Okay, it's just ridiculous. If you guys don't know, Nat Turner, it was a slave revolt, but I have to say that he unalived women and children. So whatever y'all listen.
Fight when we need to fight, because we are already being attacked. I'm not talking about going on the offense, but when we see our brother or our sister being accosted and attacked, pardon my expression, put down the phone and get in there and join the fight.
No, you just running your mouth. Cut it out.
Nat Turner escaped. They didn't know where he was. They didn't know if he was in Haiti. They didn't know if he was in Richmond. They didn't know if he was in Petersburg. Now, not everybody necessarily has to fight in order to take place, in order to take a part in a liberation struggle or battle. Now, on the plantations, the black men, the brothers had to go to the bathroom right there in front of anyone and everybody. The women, they actually gave some discretion to, and they were allowed to go into the tree line and do their business. So sometimes some of the women would take some food, hide it underneath their dress, and leave the food in a certain place where Nat could get the food.
Okay, so he's kind of talking about what took place back in the day. Peace Within, how's it going? Says your lighting and setup looks great. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I did the carpets because I bought a carpet cleaner, and I haven't finished everything. I did the carpets in the living room, and then the stairs going up to the 3rd floor, all the rooms upstairs, and I still got to do the stairs going down to the 1st floor. I got to do my son's room. Yeah, and then I still got quite a bit. But anyway, I switched things around, and then how I have the lighting set up, it's a lot better. It's the same lighting, it's just the way I have it set up. It's a lot better. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Okay. And I hope you've been doing all right. Okay. Where were we? Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Had safe houses, meaning he had some hideout places. So everybody has a job or a mission to do in the fight. Your fight may be a soldier, defending our ancestors, defending our people. Your fight may be as a lawyer. Your fight may be as a doctor. But in all of it, we are still fighters and soldiers for the liberation of our people. But the blessing.
Oh, this talk is so antiquated.
Is today we don't necessarily have to pick up a gun or a knife, however we're going to fight back, but again, we have to fight back. I'm going to say why we don't necessarily have to fight back on the offense, because God got that into the battle. They finally captured Nat.
What kind of message?
At the end of October in 1831. Of course, they tortured him.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like the Black Rambo training. These kids don't want to hear none of this. These kids don't want to hear none of this. It's just ridiculous.
On November the 11th, 1831, Nat Turner went to the gallows where he was executed.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
When he went to be executed, he was hung on a tree somewhere behind this building. We don't know exactly where because they chopped down the tree because, again, when it comes to our history, it's deny, discredit, destroy. When Nat Turner went to the gallows, when he went to be executed, he went there as a soldier.
Oh, cut it out. You don't even know that. You weren't there. If you guys are enjoying the show, hit that like button.
He wasn't crying. He wasn't sad.
You don't know that either. He could have been. Let me stop.
Wasn't angry. He wasn't upset. He was stoic and he was resigned to his fate. For 2 weeks straight, after Nat Turner was executed, it rained, 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 and rained some more. Drove racist white folk to distraction. I say this to you very humbly, my brothers and sisters. God is after us. After us? Yeah, he's after us as black people. He's chosen us to be his people, and he's chosen himself to be our God. And I'm telling you right now, until we are free, there will absolutely be no world peace on this planet. I didn't set it up like this.
What is this guy talking about? I didn't set it up like that. What do you mean? Who's you? I mean, I'm telling you, I have to say it. These people are delusional. The liberation of the people. We got to liberate. Stop. What are you talking about?
God has set it up like this. We can see the increasing natural disasters in this country and the increasing intensity of these natural disasters.
Okay, so he's a doomsdayer. Okay, I got it. Okay, he's a doomsdayer. All right. Because it's raining and there's storms and that's been happening for billions of years on Earth. Yeah.
All over the nation. Black people here in America who are the descendants of slaves, we are the real chosen of God. We are the real children of Israel.
What? What did he say?
Black people here in America who are the descendants of slaves, we are the real chosen of God. We are the real children of Israel. Take it or let it alone.
Chosen of what? What did he say?
And we absolutely, positively will.
His will. His will?
We are the real chosen of God. We are the real children of Israel. Take it or let it alone. And we absolutely,
I don't know. What did he say?
positively will be free because God got our back. And as black people, we have no friends. None whatsoever. All we have is friends.
This is such a downer. That's why, but you got to wait till Umar talk. He's coming up next. Umar, he's a professional demotivational speaker. Why y'all talking to these kids like that? Oh, he said children of Israel. Okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah, I think that's his son, right? That's what I was saying earlier, because I think he talks about his daddy a little bit. Yeah, James knows. So we can go with it. Yeah, so that's what they call Baba Khalifa, who's a scammer too. That's his son running his mouth. Okay, he's a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, I got you. I don't think all Hebrew Israelites though have that doom and gloom stuff though. I don't think so.
Black people and one another. That's it. That's it. That's it. And that's enough. That's enough. I have to say one last thing.
He said, Mama. I still don't know why Umar did that yesterday. Someone said they think that it was him stimming. It could be that he was stimming. Let me hold on one second. It's at the end of that video. It only take about 30 seconds. Let me just, because I was wondering, I was thinking about it. I was like, why did it may be that he was uncomfortable because that lady, she was questioning him anyway. And or at least you can tell she didn't believe in all of Umar's rhetoric, and he was getting animated and stuff. So maybe that was what was going on. Let's see. Is this it right here? No, that's not. Oh, here it is right here. It's right at the end.
Turns in his grave. Sam Sharp, Nanny, Captain Cujo, they're turning in their grave because the very thing that they talked about, sovereignty for Jamaica, is at risk because we won't stop accepting the so-called investment, which is nothing but a disguise for neocolonialism.
Thanks for coming, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great to see you.
Black power.
Where do we see you later now? Spanish Town
I-Nation,
Road?
Old
I-Nation.
Spanish Town Road,
What time?
7 to 12.
7
Dr.
to
Umar speaks at 9.
There's a flyer on screen. If you want to hear more from Doc, powerful speaker, whether you agree or...
And settlements and the law.
Look at Doc could stick around for that one too. We'll be right back.
Baba. I mean, one more time.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't call. Anyway, I was thinking about that. Thank you, Tippity Tappity. Professional weirdo Umar with another rant to kids. Yeah. He ain't got no business being around children anyway with the types of stuff that he said. He stated over the years. But before, because Umar's coming up next to talk. I want to see if anyone notices something. Okay, and there'll be 2 clues. You gotta listen carefully if you notice anything. Okay. So hold on, Pierre. We go about the shore in just a second. Here we go. And thank you for the super chat. Here we go.
After he was executed, his head was actually kept and preserved because these racists, you know what? When they see black people who fight back, they call us crazy, and they want to study us literally to our own demise.
He's talking as if we are back in the time period of Nat Turner. Cut it out.
He took his hand, sent it off to Washington, D.C. to be studied by scientists, and never made it there. Never made it there. Instead, it was handed off from white person to white person. I don't know exactly who. Somehow or another, it ended up into the hands of the mayor of Gary, Indiana at that time, who was a black man by the name of Richard Hatcher. Excuse me. He was encouraged to and suggested to, even including my father, Khalifa Sr.
So he says his father, Khalifa Sr. Now, anyone want to take a guess who's holding the phone? Who's recording?
To the mayor of Gary, Indiana at that time, who was a black man by the name of Richard Hatcher. Excuse me. He was encouraged to and suggested to, even including my father, Khalifa Sr., Baba Khalifa, to give the head of Nat Turner.
Yeah, Victor, it's Umar. But remember how we were talking yesterday about how Umar, I don't know if you, I don't remember seeing you yesterday, Victor. But yesterday we were talking about how Umar always has to be the center of attention. Hello, Dr. Nene. Umar always has to be the center of attention. And this is another example of it. If you look and see what Umar's doing, you have another brother who's talking. Umar's holding the phone, but Umar has to do extra. Did you guys catch that? Let me play it again. Yeah. When you have some time, check it out. It was a good show. Yeah, good to see you. So let me go back. So Umar's been holding the phone the whole time, but watch what he does.
Instead, it was handed off from white person to white person. I don't know exactly who. Somehow or another, it ended up into the hands of the mayor of Gary, Indiana at that time, who was a black man by the name of Richard Hatcher. Excuse me. He was...
See? He says, excuse me. He's walking in front of people who are listening to this guy. The guy ain't talking about nothing. But that's not the point. The point is Umar has to be the center of attention. Look.
Encouraged to and suggest.
He walks past most of the children, and he doesn't walk behind them. He walks in front of them.
Even including my father, Khalifa Sr., Baba Khalifa, to give the head of Nat Turner, the skull at that time, to the descendants of Nat Turner, which he finally did.
Then he walks back through.
On October the 7th, 2019. That also was the same day that the Nate Parker made move.
See, Umar, he has to have the attention. And he'll if that means diverting attention from the brother who's speaking, who ain't talking about shit. But if that's what it takes, that's what Umar will do. Okay, but that's not all. Okay, watch this. It's ridiculous. It goes to show you he has no respect. He's always talking about black this and black that. But when it comes down to it, he has to be the center of attention, even if that means he has to take the attention away from somebody else. Why would you walk in front of the audience like that? Why wouldn't you walk behind? Or why won't you just wait until everything is over with and go film these little placards or whatever it's called? Is that what they call? He needs attention. Yeah, he does. He has a problem. He has to be the center of attention. Dang, Stoic. Stoic. What's up, Jimmy Jamboree? All right, let me stop playing. Good to see you all. I appreciate it. Here we go.
Called The Birth of a Nation, also premiered on October the 7th, 2019. October the 7th also happens to be the birthday of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Think of that what you will.
Here he goes.
And the family, who are the descendants of Nat Turner, they took the skull and gave it to the U.S. government to study and see if that was actually his head. I mean, no disrespect to the family. I love and respect and revere.
Yeah, he's literally distracting the people there. Not that they really need to listen to this dude anyway. Yeah, no, the guy ain't talking about nothing. But Umar, that just goes to show you. What's up, Fight Taylor? It goes to show you. Yeah, if y'all hit the like button if you're enjoying the show, I appreciate it. Baba Lava. What's up, ESB? Okay, but listen real quick. Listen to what he says right here.
They took the skull and gave it to the U.S. government to study and see if that was actually his head. I mean, no disrespect to the family. I love and respect and revere the descendants of Nat Turner. For whatever reason or another, they did not give it to Tuskegee University, the Hampton University.
Okay, that's none of your business. What is it with these so-called black conscious goofies? They think they're so important. And no disrespect to the family of Nat Turner. Who's you? All you doing is clout chasing down there. That's all you doing. Yeah, and I said it. Your daddy too. He's a scammer. Y'all down there clout chasing. Y'all ain't got nothing else to do. So you in Nat Turner time. But then you're gonna talk shit about the Nat Turner. And listen, I don't have a dog in the race. But you're going to talk like you so big and bad and important and talk against the Nat Turner family for what they just decide to do. They ain't got nothing to do with you. You just clout chasing.
Another black scientific institution of any kind, leave that as you will. I actually asked the family, well, a descendant of the family who, again, we're on good terms with all the family. Well, have you heard an update from the federal government? No.
They're just egotistical. Umar's the same way. This guy, he's running his mouth, this ego. These kids don't want to hear none of this.
Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking at this here about Nat Turner's remains, and it says that a doctor from Norfolk, Virginia kept Nat Turner's skull.
I'm going to say it one more time. People who won't treat you right will not teach you right. And the people who made our ancestors into slaves and still want to keep all of us here mentally enslaved.
What are you talking about? It's such a downer.
They are going to lie to their slaves. So there's some truth over here in these historical markers, and there's also some straight up stories and lies. I'll let you choose.
He didn't even answer your question.
Any other questions? Sir? How long are these? Excellent question. My father was actually the first person to actually start giving public tours on the Nat Turner War Trail. Before then, if you actually knew, you would go ahead and you'd retrace the steps that Nat and the Army took, Black Liberation Army took. But my father actually took it upon himself to actually start opening up these tours, this history to the public. And I mean, I thank God that he did so this way we could actually have this history and pass it down rather than just, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
All right, listen carefully. Watch what happens.
Any other questions or comments?
Let me get him for a minute, Bob.
Sir? never say how long it was up. Oh, these historical markers are just part of it. They were just put up here about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was really because my father started giving them tours to the public. They saw some money be involved in it. So they said, okay, we'll go ahead and put the museum up here. And the clerk of court, a man by the name of Richard Francis, or Rick.
All right, did you guys catch it? Did y'all catch what just happened? Yeah, he said, "Let me at him." Something to that effect. Let me at him, Baba. Yeah, he's trying to take the spotlight. The most requested, ain't nobody requests him to speak. Exactly. But that's not all. Please, Baba, please. He got to talk. See, what Umar, he'll do this. He'll post on his Instagram that he's going to be down there as if he's like a keynote speaker or something. But no, he's just a bum from Philly that's on vacation, and he shows up at these events. And he's not being requested to speak. He actually requests to speak. I'll go back, watch.
It was really because my father started giving them tours to the public. They saw some money be involved in it. So they said, okay, we'll go ahead and put the museum up here. And the clerk of court, a man by the name of Richard Francis, or Rick Francis, he actually gives,
I'm sorry.
Any other questions or comments?
Let me get him for a minute, Baba.
Let me get him for a minute, Baba. Umar older than this dude. At least Umar look older than this dude. Let me go see. Yeah, I'm not finding his son's name because I can't figure out how old. But he looks younger than Umar. But you see how Umar, he's requesting, but that's not all. Watch this.
You never say how long it was up. Oh, these historical markers are just part of it. They were just put up here about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was really because my father started giving them tours to the public. They saw some money be involved in it. So they said, okay, we'll go ahead and put the museum up here. And the clerk of court, a man by the name of Richard Francis, or Rick Francis, he actually gives, he's a white man, he actually gives tours on the Nat History Trail during Black History Month. Rick Francis is also the descendant of the slave breaker at the time of the revolt. A slave breaker is someone who the slave masters would take to when they found a slave that needs to be buck broken. That's what a slave breaker.
Oh my God! Why these poor kids?
His name was Salathiel Francis. When they got to his door,
yeah, he looked younger than me. Afro-punk kid.
At around 7 o'clock in the morning, they said they had a piece of nail for him, and then they dragged his butt outside and they chopped him up into pieces. So we reason to believe he was.
These poor kids. I don't want my kids hearing some shit like that. Real talk. Kids come home, yeah, they chopped into pieces, Daddy. I said, what in the world you?
Local slave breaker at that time. So, in answer to your question, yeah, they just put these markers up here a few years ago, not to teach your children in Southampton County about Nat Turner, but to try to make some tourists. What do you think?
Yeah, that's part of it too. Yeah, Umar, he actually fakes like he's younger, so he'll call men who are younger than him Baba, which means father.
So, the county museum is right down the street from here on the same side of the street. Dr. Umar, you got a question, number?
I was going to highlight him for a few minutes.
Oh my God, yes, please. Dr. Umar.
Over. Young.
See that? Umar, he's not requested. He's requesting to speak.
Children in Southampton County about Nat Turner, but to try to make some tourists. What do you think? So, the The County Museum is right down the street from here on this same side of the street. Dr. Umar, you got a question?
I was going to holler at him for a few minutes.
Oh my God, yes, please. Dr. Umar.
Over.
He has to get attention. He's so needy and thirsty. See, he'll put on his Instagram page that he's going to be down there like he's a guest speaker. No, this is just an event. Ain't got nothing to do with him. They do these without Umar. But he goes down there on his birthday. Think about it. He goes down there on his birthday. See, he's so lonely. He ain't got nothing else going on his birthday. He got to go down there and go bother these kids down there. But he goes down there and he begs. He's basically begging. Can I talk? And the guy allows him to do so, and he runs his mouth. That's what I'm saying. Listen, would you want Umar Johnson to lecture your children? Okay, 94% said no, 6% said yes. Let's listen to what Umar, matter of fact, before we listen to what Umar has to say, let me just play a couple of things. I already played for people earlier. Umar, he's a dope fiend. Why would you want a dope fiend talking to your kids? But I want to play a video that I don't think we've actually covered the whole thing. And at some point we need to do the whole thing. What I was thinking about doing is taking one of these weekends and doing the top 10 Umar Johnson rants and break it up. It'd be like a super marathon because we got the list of the top 10 and we just hang out all day and, y'all got to do stuff, go do stuff, come back, whatever. I've been thinking about doing that. But I got the top 10 list put together. But I want to go back to 2017, and I'm just going to let this play for a little bit. Okay, I'll limit my commentary, and then after this is done, I'm going to ask the question again. Would you want your child to be in Umar's presence while he's talking about anything? Okay, check this out.
So followers have power. It is the follower who put the leaders out front. You gave him the power to lead the family. You gave him the power to lead the relationship. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. The problem is some of you, because of thirstiness, gave away your power prematurely. You gave him the authority to lead you before you fully evaluated this man. You gave him the authority to regulate the relationship before you sufficiently investigated him, before you made an informed, conscious decision as to whether or not he's the man to lead you to where you want to go. Stop saying you're going to leave if you don't. Now, I'm going to say something now that might sound a little controversial to some sisters.
Oh, here we go.
But I have to say it because it's the truth. I would never tell a woman not to leave a man who's cheating. I would never tell a woman not to leave a man who's cheating. If she wants to leave, she feels disrespected, that's her decision. I would never tell a woman to stay. I would never tell a woman to leave. Even as a therapist, you have to make that decision. But I will tell you.
He's not a therapist.
When you better leave. Y'all listening, ladies? I'm going to tell you when you better leave. And you better leave when you are no longer the queen bee in his life. Boom. Can I say it again? I'm going to say it.
Look at this guy. This is what people want to look at him.
It again. I'm going to say it again. If you were number one, and now you no longer number one, you was his queen, you was his everything, wife or not, because you could be the queen and not be the wife. You could be the wife and not be the queen. Can I say that again? Can I say this one more time? I'm just giving it real. Psychotherapy talk. You can be the wife and not be his queen. You can be the queen and not be his wife.
Huh?
Okay? So I speak of I speak of queen status, not wife status. Wife status is a legal thing. That's paperwork. Wife status is paperwork. Queen status is in his heart. Who he carries in his heart, that's the queen. Who got the paperwork, that's just the wife. I'm just going to keep it real. Now, in a perfect world, the queen and the wife is one and the same. In the perfect world, the queen and the wife is one and the same. But unfortunately, we do not live in a perfect world. Unfortunately, a lot of people get married for a lot of wrong reasons. Okay, I know dozens of brothers and sisters who are happily married where the king and the husband is the same and where the queen is and the wife is the same. Perfect situations. I know some excellent, exemplary marriages. Perfect relationships. But then I also know some other ones where she only married James because John wouldn't stop playing the field. But her heart still belonged to John. I know situations where he married Tabitha because TT couldn't get her act together. Tabitha, a good wife, but TT still got his heart. I'm just keeping it real today. Okay? So ladies, never say you leaving and you don't leave. Okay? But on the flip side, if you're no longer his queen bee, you're no longer the queen wife, you're no longer the empress of the throne. When a man lets you drop down from first place, if you let a man move you out of the number one spot, you let a man take you off the queendom of his life, I can guarantee you that your descent will not stop when you come to second place. If you let a man move you from first place to second place, I promise you, you will be in the third place, fourth place, fifth place until you become the bottom B, and then you are out the door.
The bottom B. Damn. This is the guy that people have coming to talk to these kids. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's get to Umar running his mouth. Shout out to everyone in the Cook Chat. Thank you so much. If you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. Soul Power says it's looking like he's not actually being requested. He crashes these events and finagles his way into giving speeches. Hashtag captive audience, hashtag run. Yeah, I gave 2 examples of that yesterday. One example was Queen Mother when at her event, and then the other example was the Breonna Taylor rally. Umar, he did it there, and he's doing it here. So all this talk about I'm the most requested, that's just a bunch of bull jive. Umar, listen, historically speaking, for those of you guys who've been around, Umar, he'll post stuff, events that are taking place. He has no association with it. He's not even speaking there. He'll post it and put it on his schedule to act like he's busy. I mean, it's gotten so bad that he'll post birthdays of like famous black people on his schedule because he wants it to appear as if he's the most requested. He got all this stuff going on. No, not at all. Okay, and listen, I'm always fair. Umar, he is called to speak. He's brought out, but there are many times where he's not called out to speak, but he'll post the event as if he's going to be there. And then there's other times where he'll go to an event. He's not a speaker, but he'll finagle his way so that he gets up on the stage, or in this case, he gets the attention of these kids and he starts running his mouth. That's not the most requested. He begs for everything. He begs for money. He begs for cooch. He begs for clothes. He begs for hats. This guy, he begs for venues to speak at. He begs for speaking opportunities, and that's what he does here. Okay. Thank you, Soul Power. All right, let's get back to the main video. Here we go.
Young people, something really important for y'all to start thinking about right now, and that is, what is the purpose of your life? The prophet Nat Turner, he knew the purpose of his life. You got to find out what yours is. I'm a school psychologist. I evaluate children your age for.
Okay. He comes out the box lying to these kids right out the box. He's not a school psychologist, and he's not evaluating any kids. Umar hasn't been a school psychologist since 2010, 2011. And no, he doesn't have a private practice. Where's his office? He holds no certifications, professional certifications currently. He has no license to work as a psychologist, a school psychologist, or a therapist, as he calls himself. He comes out and lies to the kids right away. That's diabolical. This guy, he'll lie to anybody. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Special education eligibility. It's my job to decide if you're autistic, if you're reading disabled, if you're comprehension disabled, math disabled, if you're intellectually disabled, if you're emotionally disturbed. That's what I do for a living. And I'm very disgusted and
He's such a liar. Where is he doing this at? No, he begs for a living. Where does he do this at? That's a basic critical question. Any Umar Johnson followers, I implore you to find me a receipt here in 2026 that shows where Umar is employed as a school psychologist, as a psychologist, or anything like that. And then on top of that, show me the certification or a license. He's never been licensed, and he doesn't hold any professional certifications currently. So he's not even in a position it would be illegal for him to be doing any of this stuff. And he knows that he's not doing any of this stuff. And I'll cash app you or PayPal you $150. Show me the receipt or the receipts. You're not going to be able to do it. I've looked and I already know Umar's not a school psychologist. He hasn't worked as a school psychologist since 2011. But he tells people that he's a school psychologist. I've heard him say that he has his own private practice. You got to be licensed to have a private practice. You got to have a certification to have a private practice. He doesn't have either. And then furthermore, let's say that he doesn't need those things. Okay, where is his office? What are his office hours? Where is his website that shows where his location is at so that he can do these diagnoses? Where does Umar promote and market his services? Where? Because he's going to have a location too, right? So that if people want to get these services, they have a location to go to. Where's his office? It doesn't exist. This guy, he lies so much. And he's lying to these kids.
disappointed with my young sisters and my young brothers because you are no longer taking your academics seriously. You are playing in.
Okay, how does he know that these kids, see, he's always negative. That's what I'm saying. He's a demotivational speaker. He's always negative. How does he know that these kids that he don't know, they don't know him either? Because he's just a random that shows up because he's a bugaboo. He shows up at an event, bum rushes the stage and runs his mouth and talks disparagingly about these kids. How does he know that they don't take their academics seriously? See, he assumes that because he always wants to put black people in a subservient position, like black people ain't shit, including these kids. Y'all ain't shit because you don't take your academics seriously. How does he know that? He doesn't know that. He assumes that because he wants to paint the narrative so that he can run his mouth. But it's disrespectful to these kids. It's disrespectful to black people. Again, would you want Umar Johnson lecturing your kids? Umar is a professional demotivational speaker. That's what he does. He's a Debbie Downer. Let's keep going.
Into a trap of the American white power structure to put you in poverty for my young ladies, in prison for my young men. Let me say something to you.
He's so negative.
Might play basketball, and that's all right.
See, again, this is him. It's just stereotypes. Waiting for Lenon to say what kind of. Every once in a while, I'll say it. Thanks, girls, cakes, and cookies. All right. Thank you for the super chat. Let's go.
You might play football, and that's all right. You might be a track star, you might be an entertainer, you might be a musician, and that's all right. But I want you.
See, it's all negative with this guy. Like none of these kids, the children here, like none of them, they want to be a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer or a psychologist or a nurse, practitioner or whatever. No, he just assumes.
To understand something. Basketball is an activity. Basketball is not your identity. Football is an activity. Football is not your.
Yeah, I'd be highly opinionated. Umar is a deadbeat downer. See, and let me say something else. See, Umar, he's stupid because there are a lot of people that the way that they get their degree. I'm talking about black people. The way they get their bachelors or even masters in some cases is through sports. Hit the one if you know what I'm talking about, because I have plenty of relatives that have done this. They were big in the sports. When I say it's the younger generation, because my generation, boy, I'm talking about the next generation after mine. They were into sports. Their family had them into sports and blah blah, and then they get a scholarship to go to a college. I had one. Well, he's a cousin of mine, but his son, that's what he did, and then. He got his degree. I can't even remember what his degree is, but now he's going to another college. It's a big time college, and he's studying. It's something in healthcare. I can't remember exactly what it is, but the route that he got on was he could play. His daddy had him in sports all the time. Had him in karate and all this other stuff. And his daddy used to play sports too when we was coming up. He was good too. He played basketball, but his son they did track. And they did football. They probably did other stuff too, but mainly track and football. And that's how he got into college and he graduated. And then now he's about to go to another college and he's in the medical field. That's what he's getting into. So Umar talking like this, it goes to show you that he doesn't know what he's talking about. And he's not connected in the educational space, because if he was connected, he would know how this could happen. And it's not just for football, it could be for basketball, volleyball, baseball, and this goes on and on and on. And not just for boys, but also for girls. But he goes in there and he starts off lying, and then everything is negative. No, if these children are in sports, that's a good thing. And that could be one of the avenues that they get into college. Furthermore, just because they're in sports doesn't mean they're not handling academics, because it's not mutually exclusive. But Umar, he's so negative. Thank you. Be highly opinionated. Umar's a deadbeat downer. Okay, he got some nerve to be talking to these kids in the first place. Niagara Falls Red, what's up? Says Dr. Umar, you actually does have a private practice. It's just that shower. Stop. Umar actually does have a private practice. It's just that shower posse construction. Okay. It's holding up the final inspection for the office. Yeah, he's being sabotaged. And it's just by an immigrant. Now, where's the immigrant though from? It has to be, because we can't, he already used Jamaica. What's this immigrant from? The building inspector. Yeah. It sounds about right. See, if people say, hey, where's your practice at? Where's your office? And they say, well, you know what? I had an office, but then there was beetles in the wall, and then they had it was a turkey that was, I kid you not, the turkey was following me today. There's these turkeys that be walking. I kid you not. There's peacocks and turkeys. Well, we don't see the peacocks that often, but there's these turkeys. And they be like a gang of them. But there was only one today, but they walk. And he was following me. He was, and I was like, anyway. Anyway, yeah. So we got to come up with Brazil. Okay, so it's a Brazil, Ghana. It's a Ghanaian immigrant building inspector that's sabotaging Umar, and the building inspector works for the shower posse construction. They won't give him his final inspection. All right. Thank you, Niagara Falls, for the super chat. What's up, James? Says camp trips for kids like this, the parents pay decent money and most of the kids are doing well in school. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. But you see how Umar, he assumes that these kids aren't taking that he assumes that these kids that they're not taking their education seriously. He doesn't know that. He's so negative. He's a deadbeat downer. That's what he is. Listen, if you listen to Umar's rhetoric, most of what he says about black people is negative, and he does the same thing to black children. He used to spend a lot of time calling black children lazy. Back in the day in his lectures, why would you be talking like that? Why is this air conditioner on? I kid you not. Boy, they don't care. They don't care. Thanks, James, for the super chat. Good point. Really good point. Okay, let's get back to the main video. Here we go.
Identity. Rap and singing is an activity. That is not your identity. And when I say it is not your identity, I'm asking you to look deeper within yourself and find out the purpose for.
Okay, they never said that it's their identity, and you guys can't see it because I blurred it. But these kids, they've already zoned out. They're not listening to Umar. He don't know how to talk to kids. Fear yelling.
Why God sent you here, because every one of us has a reason for being here. I don't care who.
Okay, and this is where I make the transition because I want to actually show the video of Umar, him talking, but the audio it's coming from a different source, and I had to work with it to try to make it sound okay. So you guys just have to bear with me, but I want to make sure we show Umar.
Who your mom is, who your dad is, whether you was born rich or poor.
I have to let me go turn this air conditioner on. I have to say, Umar, he has no level of professionalism on top of all of this. See, he'll run his mouth, talk negative about the kids, but he show up here looking like a black conscious goblin, a tight ass t-shirt on. Why is this thing on? I don't get it. Hold on one second. Maybe they got it should be off. Hold on a second. Let me make sure this thing turns off. Okay, it's turned off. I don't know why it's still on. Makes no sense. The temperature in here is lower than. Anyway. No professionalism. Looking sloppy. Here we go.
Whether you have one parent, two parents, or no parents, you have a purpose. Find and fulfill your purpose.
Yeah. King Randall, he's done a whole lot, and he has been for many years. Yeah, and he's actually showed somebody said, Lenon said it's September, turn the AC. Yeah, we getting there. Shoot. It's because electric bill is real high this last month. And I always check for the previous year to see the difference, but it's been really hot this year, like crazy hot. King Randall, not only does he actually works with children. I saw this one video where he's teaching the children how to do car repair. Okay, have we ever seen Umar do anything like that? Never. So there's people who they're doing things, and Umar acts like he's the only one doing something when he's not doing something, but he acts like he's special because he says stuff like that. You know, I'm the only one with a school that's Pan African or blah, 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 whatever. He doesn't even have a school. He has abandoned buildings. And that's his way of disrespecting people who are actually doing things, who have actual schools, functional schools. It's a way of demeaning them and disparaging them because he don't got nothing. But if he disparaged them and act like he has something, and people think that he's no. Umar, he's so negative. He's just a negative person. Yeah. Thank you, Giannis, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go.
Stop wasting your time and stop thinking you're getting over by not taking your schoolwork seriously. There's something called black excellence. We used to have it as a people.
See how negative he is? And Umar, there's nothing about Umar that speaks to excellence. Can anyone give me something that is excellent about Umar? Let me show you guys something. I know I've shown it many times before, but if we go back to 2019, unequivocally, we can prove without a shadow of a doubt that Umar, there's no sense of excellence in Umar. And part of the reason why is because he's filthy. If you're filthy, you don't have a standard of excellence. If you dress and you dress in all sloppy, Umar, you don't have a sense of excellence. If you're living off of your mama at the age, and you've been homeless since 2019, the end of 2019, and been living off your mama in Section 8 housing, that's not excellence. So why are you going to talk to these kids like this, you bum? If you don't have your own car at the age of 52, you can't speak about excellence. You're a deadbeat. You don't take care of your kids. There's nothing excellent about you when it comes to a father. You're not married at the age of 52. You're running through all these women. There's nothing excellent about running through all these women. But he's going to get up here and degrade these children as if they ain't shit. And then he's going to try to set a standard for excellence. Well, look, here's the standard for excellence for Umar.
For males, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes.
Okay. Is this all this filth? And this is back when Umar had his own place back in 2019. But by the end of 2019, he goes homeless, and he's been homeless ever since. Does this right here look like excellence to you guys? Is this black excellence right here?
At gmail.com. FDMG.
He's filthy. He's a hoarder. But he has everything to say about these kids, and it's all negative. There's nothing excellent about this. Listen, let me tell y'all, there's no way. I couldn't even walk into a room like that. I know it stank, but I couldn't even walk into a room. Now, I'm going to tell you how I am. If someone said, Lenon, let's say if it's a family member and they for whatever reason, they're living in filth like that, and I got to help out, okay. Let me just be clear. There's nothing up in here that can cause harm, no syringes or, anything like that. And they say, yeah, no, it's not. I'm just filthy. Can you help me out? Okay, step by step. And first thing I'll do is I'll walk in and I'll assess everything. I'll take mental notes, and then I'll say, where am I going to start? What do I need to get started? And I'll start the process, and I'll go step by step meticulously to get everything cleared out and get everything cleaned up. That's what I would do. But Umar has been living in that apartment at that time for at least 9 years. He's filthy. He don't care. That's why FDMG is filthy. Mowed all over the place. It's filthy up there. That's not black excellence. FDMG is not black excellence. I can pull up the video from what was it? This was from, it was about a month ago when Brother Enterprise went up there. I can pull that up because we played it recently there and showed you guys that's not black excellence. So what are you talking about, Umar? Umar lives in filth. Look.
MG resumes at G.
This is not black excellence. There's nothing excellent about this whatsoever. He's a hoarder. It's filthy in there. There's no way, y'all. I don't even know how something can get like this. This was his apartment. This is the same apartment that he was here for at least 9 years. And now people can argue, okay, well, this is back in the day. This doesn't apply. He's no. He's still filthy. Here's 2020. This is his mama's closet. It's the same thing. That's his stuff. That ain't his mama's stuff up in there. Look at this. I know I said it before, but there's a sack of potatoes in the corner. This is how Umar lives. It's important for people to understand this because you can ask the question, would you want someone like this lecturing or talking to your children? And Umar's so negative in the first place. Let me show you one other thing.
Peace and love, black family.
Here's a side-by-side comparison, and I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to let it play real quick for the sake of time. But 2019, you see Umar inside of that gym. This is the large gym. Talk about black excellence. Back in 2019, and then last year in 2025, 6 years later, look at what it looks like. And most this, and I shouldn't say most, all of these chairs and stuff that was from the Moyer Academy, that's stacked back here. But whenever you see like personal belongings that's strewn about, this is Umar's stuff, including all of his books and stuff that was present inside of his apartment back in the day where he flipped the phone and was living in filth. Okay, I'll let it play. I won't even comment. Y'all just take a look. Okay. All right, you guys see the difference? I apologize, I cleared my throat. That the gym in 2019 was cleared out for the most part, very little in there. But Umar turns it into his own personal storage by 2025. This stuff, all we see over here in the 2025, this is all Umar Johnson stuff. And when he gets evicted at the end of 2019, he just takes his stuff and he just dumps it over here in these trap bundles in Wilmington, Delaware. Fitted caps, the shoe. There's that big back TV right there. And that's the same TV we see inside of the video where he flips the phone at his apartment back in 2019 before he gets evicted. So none of this is black excellence. These trap bundles in Wilmington, they're not black excellence. One other thing, let me show you this. This is the small gym back in June of 2021. See how it's all cleared out? There's black mold. There's problems with the flooring too.
Just wanted to show y'all, my donors and loyal supporters. We just got the gym floor power washed, polished, buffed. The Nat Turner Jean-Jacques Dessalines Gymnasium, just letting y'all know. We got our drain cleaned out. We got our doors fixed. We got the heating and cooling done in all the offices. It took all day, but they cleaned it. They was patient. They really took care of it. So we getting ready for the first annual Unapologetically African Festival, brothers and sisters. We getting ready for the first annual Unapologetically African Festival, brothers and sisters. That's what we doing right now. That 3-on-3 basketball tournament for the young princes. That 3-on-3 basketball tournament for the young princesses. We're going to paint them walls.
Okay, so this is 2021. Let's go back to last year, around this time last year in 2025. Look at this is the same gym. Look.
Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism.
Look at
peace
this.
and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan Africanism. This is
I got to do a side-by-side on this one. I forgot. I
your
need to do
big
that.
brother, Dr. Umar Ifatunde Oguntade, coming to you live and direct from the Jean-Jacques Dessalines Prophet Nat Turner Gymnasium, brothers and sisters. Oh, yes. I want to say good Garvey Day to my continental Africans, my South Africans, my Nigerian Africans, my Togolese, my Eritrean, my Ethiopian, my Congolese, my Angolan Africans, my Mozambique.
See, this gym was cleared out. Look at it. It was cleared out in 2021, but by 2025, look at this. He's a hoarder and he's filthy. Watch when he goes back in. Hold on a second. Watch this.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Ah.
Look back there in that room.
Ah.
See that? There's junk piled up halfway up the wall and higher. And this was all cleared out back in the day.
Got to paint them walls. We're going to switch all the lights out to LED. All right. We got to get some new impact pads. We not playing with y'all. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Nat Turner Gymnasium. We're going to get this floor. Rip out the floor carpet and all the office.
Diabolical. This is black excellence.
Just wanted to show y'all, my donors and loyal supporters. We just got the gym floor power washed, polished, buffed. The Nat Turner Jean-Jacques Dessalines Gymnasium, just letting y'all know.
people time. It's King Kong-alicious right now. We not playing. John Jacques Dessalines, Nat Turner Gymnasium. We gonna get this floor shined up again. We not playing with y'all.
That's ridiculous.
We not playing no game.
I remember one time Umar was in this gym, and there were all of these desks like lined up, but he goes into up to one of these desks, and he opens up the drawer, and there's a crack pipe in it. Hey, Umar closed it real quick. I wish I had that video. I may have it. I just don't remember what video it was. Anybody remember that one? Hit the one. Boy, that was crazy. And I remember back then I was like, let's just move on. I wish I had that one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You remember? Okay. Yeah. This is a long time ago though. So most people weren't around back then. That was the early days. Yeah, Jimmy, this is a good point. Everything is cosmetic because when he buffed the floors, his donors got excited, his followers got excited, and they sent him more money. But you see, that was in 2021. Just last year, 2025, around this time, he's talking about how he's going to get the floor buffed again. It doesn't matter. It's just cosmetic. He does it to give the illusion of progress, and people get excited. He's been doing this to people for such a long time. Yeah, this is a long time ago. Yeah, Afro Punch, you remember that? Yeah. Listen, well, number one, he doesn't know how to clean. He doesn't. He doesn't even know how to shop. And when I say he doesn't know how to shop, he doesn't. Because I have a video where he's shopping for cleaning supplies and he's just grabbing random things. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to organize. See, also part of cleaning too is you got to be organized. You got to know what you're going to clean. When I did the and I love for whatever reason, I love doing carpets. It's just, I don't know, it's peaceful. It's, it's something about it. I just love it. And but in my mind, I already tell myself, okay, this is exactly what I'm going to do, step by step. I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to backtrack and go back this way, and then blah blah blah. And I go through step by step by step. Umar doesn't have that. When I was doing the stairs, which took the most amount of time, I developed a whole little cleaning pattern, and I did it for each stair. Umar doesn't have that ability, so he doesn't know how to clean. But the other thing, Sierra, is that Umar, filth, and I'm not being facetious, I'm not joking. Filth, trash, dirt, and grime, it just doesn't register in Umar's mind as a problem. And that's a problem. The fact that it doesn't register in his mind. He lives that way. Now, if he has to go out, he'll groom himself. He'll dye his hair. He may take a shower. He'll put on cologne. He'll comb out his beard. He'll put on a dashiki, and he'll do that. But I'm talking about in everyday life, he's filthy. I can pull up other examples too of Umar. He's filthy, and it doesn't register in his mind as being a problem. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Even the idea of him opening up a school, it makes no sense. He can't even clean his mama's closet. At that time when he flipped that phone, that was in 2021. Umar was what, about 37 years old? No, about 47. He was about 47 years old. But it doesn't register him that he should clean that up. That's where he's live streaming at. And every time, it's amazing. Every time Umar live streams, for all these years, starting in 2020, whenever Umar live streams, where he has this backdrop right here.
Douglas,
This is his mama's closet. And this is the same closet space where he flips the phone and it shows that he's living in filth in there. And he's live streaming in here more than anything else in his mama closet right here. Look, let me just play one. I'll show it to you guys one more time. Look.
Tap in with the prince. Who tapping in next? Who tapping?
Okay. This is his mama's closet. So if we look right here, you see that backdrop with the sun, and it's like a teal color and kind of like a purple color. Okay, he gets up. This is another example right here. This chair, just filthy. Okay, he's a hoarder. He can't let it go. But this is his mama's closet. This is the same space where he flips
Next,
the
who
phone
tapping in next?
and
Tap.
shows that he's living in filth. One time he was in there, I know we covered this recently. He was in there and there was a rat or a mouse or some sort of rodent. See how he flipped the phone right here? This is the same.
Bless.
This is it's a very small space. See this? So for all of these years, whenever we would see Umar live streaming in this with this backdrop, that's that same space where he flipped the phone and it shows that he's living in filth. We realized this last year. Someone actually sent me this video. And this is the same space where Umar, he was live streaming and there was a rat. Let me see if it pops up. Yeah, this is it right here. Okay, he has that banner, the Marcus Garvey banner, but below that, you can see that Till backdrop too is still there.
Come on back, people. They stop.
And look at this chair too. Let me see if I can find, because I forgot the timestamp. Let me show you guys the chair, and then we'll move on. I just want to just prove my point when we talk about Black excellence. Living in your mama Section 8 housing at the age of 52 and living off of your mama, that's not Black excellence at all. Umar, he really should be ashamed of himself. But in this video, yeah, I can't catch the spot. I don't remember the timestamp. I keep telling myself to remember. But he gets up out of the chair here in this video as well. Let me see. Here it is right here. Okay, so there's a rodent, and you can hear it in the background.
So if you are 25% native, if you bunny hop, why not reduce the rule so that...
I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah, see how he's looking over? Because he can hear it. Yeah, let's go right here. 31, 32.
Descendancy. Anyone who can prove tribal descendancy from the Cherokee...
You hear it in the background?
...of Oklahoma.
See?
They can become a citizen. But the problem with the one-drop rule of the Cherokees... The problem with the one-drop rule of the Cherokee... The problem of the one-drop rule of the Cherokee is you end up with a whole bunch of people who don't care about the Cherokee people, don't really identify with the Cherokee people, do not really feel an affinity for the Cherokee people, and they are just claiming to be Cherokee so they can get the land, the resources, and the benefits. So you see, either way, you're going to have problems no matter how you cut the cake. Now, how does this relate to Black people? And I'm going to tie this on out for the night. How does this relate to Black people? I'm going to tell you why.
Hear it?
I'm going to tell you why. Black people are fighting for reparations, which we are entitled to. One second.
That's diabolical. Okay, so this guy's living in Section 8 housing. And listen, it happens, but if he wants to lecture these children about Black excellence, Umar, why are you living in your mama closet, live streaming? You got rats and shit. Furthermore, why is this chair? Remember I showed the chair before? Look. This is the chair before, and then this is the chair from 2023.
I'm going to tell you why. Black people are fighting for reparations, which we are entitled to. 1 second.
Look at this chair. This is Black excellence. It went from this to this. It went from this, which is bad, to this, which is horrendous. But he's going to lecture to these children about Black excellence and make them feel bad. There's so much more I can pull up, but we got blowed off. Okay, let's get back to it. Seth, what's up, Seth? Says humping the air requesting alpha males. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why he said that. And he's saying we need strong alpha, whatever he says, alpha males, and he's pumping like that. I don't. To this day, I don't get that.
Strong male send. Strong alpha male send. Strong alpha male send. Strong alpha males. Strong alpha males. Send those alpha male. Alpha males send those resumes. Alpha males send those resumes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thanks, Seth. I couldn't help myself. I got to do it one more time.
Strong alpha male send those resumes. Strong alpha male send strong alpha male send those strong alpha males. Strong alpha males. Strong alpha males send those resumes.
All right. I'm being real petty. I apologize. I'll blame that on Seth. Okay. User Defy says anyone who finds Umar Johnson attractive has negative IQ. Listen, I can't. Listen, that ain't my business, bro. You know, that's not my business. I have no words on that one. Thank you, User Defy. Your kids, what she says, he knows nothing of native enrollment requirements. They do not use blood quantum for both bands of Cherokee. They used Baker and Dawes Rose. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. And clearly, based upon what you're saying, if this is all true, okay, I'll take your word before I take Umar. Umar don't know what he's talking about. That's the thing. Umar, he has an answer for everything, but he don't know nothing. I shouldn't say he doesn't know anything. Most of the time, he don't know what he's talking about, but he'll come up with an answer. Except, why it is that the school was supposed to open September 11, 2013, and it's still not open, and we're in 2026. We almost been 2027. Umar, he runs his mouth. Man, he don't provide any receipts, any statistical, no source material. I'll take your word before I take his word. Man, thank you for the super chat. The Afrocentric woman, how's it going, sis? Sent in 600 jewels. Thank you so much. Says mic drop. I appreciate that. Thank you for that. For the jewels. Okay. I hope you're doing all right. Afrocentric woman been around from the beginning too, so she said thank you for hanging in there with me. I always got to say that because it's been a long road. It has been, and we keep pushing. Thank you so much, sis. Liz also sent in 2 jewels and said sparkles. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the support. Make sure you vote on the poll too, by the way. We're going to go for another 40 minutes. I want to do a shorter show, but these are still shorter shows. So I should do like 4 hours. I'm trying to get them down to like 3. But I'm serious. I want to do a weekend where we do like a true marathon, which is like 12 hours. We've been doing mini marathons more recently, like 6 hours or 4 or 5 hours. 6 hours, 5, 6 hours. But we've done some of those more recently. But I want to do a marathon, and we can break them up to where it's like throughout the day. We'll do the most Umar Johnson's top 10 greatest rants. I don't know if that's the right word, greatest. Top 10 most diabolical rants or something. I'll come up with something. And then for each one, we'll go from 10 all the way up to 1. And we'll start, like say on a Saturday, we'll do 10, 9, 8, and 7, and then, or maybe we'll start on a Friday. We'll start on a Friday night, and we'll do a mini marathon, and then we'll do Saturday a full marathon, and then Sunday we'll close it out to get to the number 1. Okay, so I'm thinking we should do. I think that'd be good because I got the list compiled now. That'd be a fun time. Thank you again. Make sure you guys, if you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. And then the poll question is: would you want Umar Johnson to lecture your children? 94% said no. 6% said yes. Okay, let's get back. There was something else I was going to pull up, but let me come back. Let's get back on track here. So we're covering the video. Umar, he's talking about Black excellence. He's real negative with these kids, and yet he's not. He doesn't live a life of excellence. Okay, here we go.
Your purpose. Stop wasting your time and stop thinking you're getting over by not taking your schoolwork seriously. There's something called Black excellence. We used to have it as a people. We're losing.
Okay, is this Black excellence right here? Black excellence. Black excellence. We gonna cut it down. This month on Monday. A Black excellence, we chopping it down and like it's some cotton. It's a bunch of cotton, we gonna till the soil. This is Black excellence, family. We take it back to slavery. We take it back to slavery, family. This is Black. We gonna cut this trash too. We gonna cut this trash down. Queendom said ain't no lawnmower. Ain't no lawnmower. We ain't doing that. We gonna take it to the slave time. Yes, Lord. We gonna cut it down, whatever it is. Is Black excellence? Anyway, here we go.
Our sense of Black excellence. We become very average. We become very mediocre. We become very plain. We're no longer interested in being the best at what we do. My brothers, I don't have to tell you. Everything in this society is organized to trap you. But you don't have to become a victim if you decide not to be. But if I look at your report card grades right now, if I look at your report card grades right now, do I see a prisoner or do I see a business owner? Do I see a homeless man or do I see an engineer? Are you serious?
Why would you talk to these kids like that? Just horrible. Nat Boosley says, brother, please play the clip of Umar high as a kite asking the woman, so what's going on if you can't? Wait a minute, didn't we cover this one yesterday? Oh, yeah, that's the turn the heat down. Is that Black excellence? Let's see. It don't take a minute. Hold on a second. We finally found that video again after many, many years and months. Hold on one second. Here it go right here. I mean, how Umar look right here. Is this Black excellence? Sitting up in these motel rooms, getting high. Hold on a second. Here it go right after this lady. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe not. Where'd it go? I thought it was after this lady right here, or was it before this lady? I know it was, I think it's after this lady. Here we go.
Okay, so I have it because that was my next question. I have it already.
Yes, but I probably need to resend it because I know my question was, how are you even going to go about trying to sort through them? Because I know at this point you're
going through all of them. I have to.
Like,
gotta go through all of them, every one. And I have a team, though. I have a team that'll be doing it with me.
Okay.
But we lying. Go through everyone. We have to, because you don't want to miss that one teacher. That we needed. You understand?
So, no doubt, absolutely. Okay.
Well, I appreciate that love, Queen. I hope to see you soon.
Yes, absolutely. Take care.
All right, babe. Take care now. We're discussing Snow Bunny Crisis tonight.
Here you go.
Hair Paradise Brown Lashes. Hair Paradise Brown Lashes. Where you at,
Hold
Queen?
on, let me get up. I'm coming. Let me get up. Wait a minute.
All right, take your time. Take your time. Let me turn this heat down.
My baby was sleeping in the bed. Gotta go way off to the kitchen.
See, Umar, he went over there. He getting high. He took a snort of something, talking about black excellence. Look at him.
Turn this heat down.
Yeah, that's diabolical. Look at him. Look at this guy. This is not black. He's a dope fiend. This is black excellence.
Hair Paradise Brown Lashes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hair Paradise Brown Lashes. Where you at,
Hold
Queen?
on, let me get up. I'm coming. Let me get up. Wait a minute.
All right, take your time. Take your time. Let me turn this heat down.
You got to turn that heat down.
My baby was sleeping in the bed. Gotta go way off to the kitchen.
Understood.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, Queen? Where you at in the world?
I'm doing all right. Well, right now I'm in Talladega, Alabama. I live in Atlanta.
Alabama. Okay, okay. I've heard of Talladega.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on? Is it as bad down there in Alabama? Do y'all have this?
What's going? He's so high. Well, what's going on?
Alabama. I live in Atlanta.
Alabama. Okay, okay. I've heard of Talladega.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on? Is it as bad down there in Alabama? Do y'all have the Snow Bunny Crisis too?
Yeah. Man. Yeah, you sure was. It wasn't no he turned down. He went and snorted. Okay, that's Umar. That's black excellence, I guess. Okay, thanks, Nath Boozley, for the super chat. Be unique, sad, since 250 jewels. Thanks, MVP. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for all of the support. Miranda, how's it going? Says we gonna cut it down. yeah. That's wild. And not just that, he need to cut this down too, because this is black excellence right here.
Cutting Africans at. Look at this. More wild mushrooms growing. We need to come harvest.
Yeah, shout out to Enterprise. Shout out to Enterprise. Now, notice this is not black excellence.
These mushrooms. They just wasting away. Look at the
Well, man, these bandos look horrible.
Streaks of the mold coming off. This is where your money is going, people.
Yeah.
Don't you know I'm doing great things with the money? This is what you investing in right here.
Look at the roof.
In the 7 years that we had both of these buildings, this is where your money goes. Look at this. We are even growing.
Yeah, it's a lot more than I thought. Yeah, this is a problem.
Foliage on top of the building. Who can say that they doing that?
Man, that's a serious problem. See, you leave that up there long enough, the roots will start at least attempting to go through the ceiling, the roof. It'll start. Well, I tell you. Yeah, they need to cut this down too, Miranda. Evidently, this is not black excellence. Umar, he has some nerve. Thank you, Miranda. What's up, Seth again? Says, how is it possible that not one single interviewer in over 10 years has asked Umar, where is your office? Is that true? Yeah, no, that's true. I've never, at least for me in all my research, I've never heard an interviewer ask Umar, where is his office? Has anyone else heard it? I haven't heard it. That's crazy. Umar's been interviewed a lot of times, hundreds of times. Well, sure, it could be thousands at this point, because he used to do radio shows, and it's probably thousands now. I've never heard Umar interview host ask Umar, where is your office? Because he should have one, right? Another question, Seth, is: has anyone ever heard Umar say where his office is located? But he don't have one. But has he ever stated that? He's in my research, I've never heard him say it. See, and he couldn't, because if he gave a location like an address, then people would just simply go look it up, and they'll know right away that he's lying. So he wouldn't do that. I haven't heard him do that. But he's supposed to be this big time child psychotherapist and a therapist and a family therapist and a school psychologist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's a great question. I haven't heard it. I've never heard an interviewer ask Umar, where is your office? And Tariq Nasheed stated that when he went to go interview Umar the first time for Hidden Colors, he thought that Umar had an office. But when he said, Tariq says, when he shows up, Umar had like a storage space, which makes sense because Umar, you see how he lives, you know. He's always looking for places to store things, including his belongings. When he got evicted at the end of 2019, he puts that inside the large gym at these trap bandos. See, that's another thing, a telltale sign dealing with Umar, is that he's not organized enough in his life to be able to put things where they need to go. And we can see that where he flips the phone in both of those instances that I've shown. But it also applies to when he gets evicted. He doesn't know what he's going to do. And he just takes all of his stuff that was in that filth, and he just takes it over and he dumps it inside of the trap bando in the large gym. And it's been sitting there ever since. Umar act like it just was up there. He was just up there in 2025. No, that goes back to the end of 2019. And the vandalism probably goes back to 2019. The end of 2019. Okay. It's a great question. I've never heard it. I've never heard one interview host ask Umar where is his office. And I never heard Umar state where his office is located. He says he's doing all these diagnoses, though. What's he doing, in the mama closet? All right. Thanks, Ed. T. John Tutsigone says, cutting down the roofs of weed is black excellence. I know. Listen, I've never seen that. And I've seen some stuff. We lived in Atlanta. They have kudzu down there. You guys know about kudzu? I've seen kudzu like take over a whole house. Like literally grow over it. You can barely, you know that there's a house under there because how it's shaped, but you can't see the house. So I've seen some stuff, but I ain't never seen that right here. I've never seen this.
Who could say
this is diabolical? I wish I could see like all the way up there, because there's probably other stuff growing up there that we can't see, and who knows how far back this this fauna goes. Okay. Is it fauna or the other one? I can't remember. It's flora. That's flora. How far does flora go? Okay. Thanks, T. Jones. Yeah, this is not black excellence, but Umar, he'll trash these kids and talk about how he don't see black excellence. We don't black excellence no more. No, he's not. There's nothing about Umar that speaks to this idea of black excellence all the way across the board. Yeah, thanks, T. Jones. Eugene Devine says, Umar Johnson's allergic to hand sanitizer. It hurt. Stop. Okay. Samat sent in 10 jewels. Thank you so much with the W. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And then who's that girl sent in 10 jewels? Thank you so much. I appreciate the gold coin. How's it going, Pam? Pam said, this is for the strong. You know, I got to do now I'm being petty now. Strong. I don't have time right now, but I'll at some point, strong alpha male mix. All right. Okay. Thank you, Pam. I was being petty. I shouldn't have done that, but I'll do it again. I'm gonna do it again. I promise. Okay, we're gonna go for another 30 minutes. Okay. Thank you so much, Pam. Good to see you too. Hope you're doing all right. And then what's up, Michael? Mike says Umar's office is in the state. Yeah, like a lot of things, a lot of the stuff that Umar Johnson, when he talks, it's all up here. It's a mental health situation. We've been covering Jaquel Pitts. And he's the guy that he claims he has a university, and he says that Cheyenne Bryant earned a degree from his university, and he gives her a degree. And he was interviewed by Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. Other people interviewed. Next week, for members only, we're going to be getting into his most recent interview. I was thinking about getting him on here, okay, but I already know how quick that is. I would have to tell him in advance, hey, listen, my chat room don't play. They said they don't even play with me. So they go into me, they go in on me too. So, but we've been covering that for members only. And a lot of what he says and the degrees that he has and I think it's 26 or 27 degrees or something like that. I can't remember the figure right now, but it's in his head. You know, well, same thing with Umar. Same thing with Cheyenne Bryant. She really thinks that, you know, she's this psychologist, this great psych. No, she's not. Okay, yeah. So Jaquel Pitts claims to have 26 degrees in total, and I counted. There's 11 colleges or universities that he attended, and this is all over, I think, a 16-year period. This is what he has on his LinkedIn account, and the breakdown is 16 associates, 1 bachelor's, 1 master's, 1 postmaster's degree, 7 PhDs. Yeah, 7 PhDs, and then he lists 55 honors and awards, and then 106 licenses and certifications. Okay, so combined license certifications, 106. It's impossible. It's not, but this is in his mind. Okay, well, Umar is the same way. When he says, I diagnose children for a living, that's in his head. Now, there was a time where he did. There was a time when he did. Okay? That's going back to 2000 through 2010. But after that, no. But he still tells people that. And I think in his own mind, he lives in that fantasy land where he pretends that he's all these different things, including the most requested scholar, even though he begs to talk in this video, the main video. Okay, thank you, Michael. Thank you guys for all the super chats again. I appreciate all the support and the jewels and super stickers. Again, thanks, Pam. Good to see you. And who's that girl? And Samat. And of course, you do T Jones as well. And Seth. Okay, let's start winding this down. We're going to go for another 25 minutes. Let's go back to the main video. Make sure you vote on the poll. And if you're enjoying the show, hit that like button. Okay, here we go.
Your future, because guess what? When you apply to trade school and when you apply to college, they're going to see every grade you earn from 9th through 12th. Let me say that again. They're going to see every grade you earn from 9th through 12th. What do them 9th grade grades look like? What do the 10th grade grades look like? What do them 11th and 12th grade grades look like? And if you're still in middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th, well, guess what? You better get focused. Because when you get to high school, the games is over. Then let me say this to you. If college is not for you, that's all right. I went to college because I wanted to be a psychologist since I was 8, 9 years old. I'm glad I did what I did.
Here he go, lying again.
I got my doctorate. That's my life. But if you don't want to be something that requires a college education, that's all right. Firefighters Association. We don't have enough black people in the Firefighters Association. So
yeah, and I apologize. This is just the editing because I'm taking different sources because the audio quality is really bad, and then also there's video footage of Umar, and it switches back and forth. So just to be clear,
psychologist since I was 8, 9 years old. I'm glad I did what I did. I got my doctorate. That's my life. But if you don't want to be something that requires a college education, that's all right. Firefighters Association. We don't have enough black people in the Firefighters Association. So some of you might want to become firefighters. Good job, good pay, good retirement. But my point is, we can't go to jail. That's going to mess your whole record up.
Here he go. Why are you talking like that? It's so assumptive.
Go to jail. You get one charge, and you're going to be shut out half the opportunities in life. So get serious.
Yeah, okay. And I understand what he's saying here. I think, though, that Umar, he's so overbearing. It reminds me of this show back in the day. I don't know if it still exists, but it was called Scared Straight or something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about? And that's when they would have like people who are teens or, younger people who are involved in stuff, and they're trying to do interventions, and their approach was to scare them and intimidate them so that they would stop. That's what it reminds me of Umar. It's just so overbearing and unnecessary. These kids didn't come here to hear Umar talk like this. Yeah, they would have inmates talk to the kids and scare them. And I've seen they would bully the kids in some cases. They would get all up in their face and stuff. But that's what it reminds me of Umar. His whole approach is so abusive. But I also think that this is my opinion, when he went to that military academy, he was shipped away. He was the only child that was shipped away. I think that that's what he experienced. And so his whole idea of dealing with children is like based upon how he was treated. But like I was saying when we start this live stream, just because you were treated a certain way or or let's say as an example, your mama, your daddy wasn't in your life, doesn't mean that you treat your kids the same way or that you're not going to be in your kids' life. No, you be in your kids' life. You do better, right? Umar, he don't do better. He up here talking to these kids like they're criminals or something. You don't go to jail. You know. Bridget became a member again. Thank you so much, Bridget. Hope you're doing all right too. It's good to see like a lot of these people have been around. You've been around for a long time. It's good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much. Okay, I appreciate y'all younger, the newer people too. Thank you. I just appreciate y'all. Christy became a member too. Yeah, thank you so much, Christy. We did a live stream for members only before this live stream. We're doing a series on Cheyenne Bryant, but it also Jaquel Pitts, and then also what's the guy, Pastor Bryant or something like that. It's a whole big thing. And then Dr. I always forget his name. The guy, Umar's buddy. I'm just playing. Dr. Mark Lamont Hill. I don't know why Dr. Mark Lamont Hill just doesn't just tell the truth. And he knows the truth that Umar's a scammer. He's probably known it way before we've known it, because they go back way back in the day in Philly. They're both from Philly. I have old videos. Umar's taking shots at Mark Lamont Hill, disrespecting him. I don't get that where I come from. If a man disrespects you like that, you don't be glazing him. You need to stop using that. Stop. That's the young people. I got to stop using that term. Thanks, Christy, for becoming a member. Alpha Male Remix. Yeah, I might have to. I wrote that down. I'm gonna have to do an Alpha Male Remix. Yeah. Okay. When I get some time. Okay. Thank you, Liz. Okay, let's get back to it, because we run up against the clock now. We got 20 more minutes. Okay, here we go.
Because we got a lot of young sisters who are focused. And the problem with the young sisters who are focused, it's going to be hard for them to find a young man in their 20s and 30s who is focused. Our sisters, they focus it on their business. They focus it on their education.
Okay, again, this is all assumptive, right? He's so negative.
And you weren't about rap and basketball. Understand, you have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a professional athlete or entertainer.
Yeah, and I looked this up. This is actually true.
Let me say it one more time.
You
have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a professional athlete or entertainer. So when I ask you what you want to be when you done school, I don't want to hear nothing about no sports. Because when I go speak in the prisons, half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next Kobe. Half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next Michael Vick. Half those brothers locked up, they thought they was the next LeBron James. And then when they found out they were not good enough, although everybody told them they were, it shattered their whole world. And you know what they started doing? Stealing cars, hustling credit cards, robbing people.
What? He's a demotivational speaker. That's what Umar is. Just so negative. What else, Umar?
Living off their mama, that's not going to be you. Because
oh, let me not show my feet. I got pretty feet. I'm self-conscious about it. Now, this guy has the audacity, the unmitigated gall to talk to these children like this and gonna tell the kids that they're not gonna be living off of their mama when Umar, at the age of 52, is living off of his mama. Make it make sense. Huh? I need one of y'all in the Cookie Crush chat. It don't matter which one. Cookie Crush chat. It could be 1, 2, 3, or more. Cookie Crush chat. I need one of y'all in the Cookie Crush chat to make it make sense. There's a term for this, ladies and gentlemen. Umar does this a lot. This is one of the fascinating aspects of Umar when we talk about his psychology. It's psychology. It's called projection. And Umar, he will project like the Cookie Crush chat. Don't say nothing about my sign either, okay? I'm doing the best I can, right? I did that. I did. Okay. All right, we gotta start winding this down. We have to start winding this down, okay? I did this for you all, and all you can do is just talk trash about it. I did this for y'all. Okay. All right, that's enough of this. That's enough of the shenanigans. This show is ridiculous. All right, let's get focused. Let's get focused, family. I was just about to go and put it back on, but then I said no. Let me just leave it off now. That I don't want y'all to start up. No, I was just about to do it too. No, we leaving that right there. Okay. Next live stream, that's what you guys gonna see. All right, let's get back to it. This is wild. Okay, let's finish this up, everybody. Shout out there when the Cookie Chat. You enjoying the show? Hit that like button. All right, here we go.
And you know what they started doing? Stealing cars, hustling credit cards, robbing people, living off their mama. That's not.
Umar, you are not the one to talk. You are 52 living off your mama in Section 8 housing. He has some nerve. Let's go.
Gonna be you. Because starting today, we're going in a new direction. I'm gonna tell you.
What do you mean? We're going in a new direction. This is not his event. They didn't invite him. He's not even supposed to be talking, but all of a sudden he has a plan for these kids that he don't know, even though he living on anyway. This guy, yeah, I'm gonna end up auctioning. MP, I'm gonna end up auctioning that sign off. We're gonna do a Cookie Crush chat auction at the Cookie Crush, and I'm gonna ship it to you guys. Whoever wins, I'm gonna ship it to you. I'm gonna sign it and ship it to you. Okay. FDMG needs to be on Scare Straight. Yeah, I know. It needs to be. They can have the kids up in there. They even got to take them in. They keep on taking them on outside with the mode and yell at them and scare them. They say, "Yeah, you're gonna have to go to this school. You keep it up." That'll straighten them out real quick. Yeah, thank you, 84 Jermaine. Yeah, by the way, Umar's real name, his birth name is Jermaine. And for those of y'all who didn't know that, if you didn't know that, hit the 1. Most people know that. Jermaine Shoemake. But his name, his daddy changed his name to Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Johnson. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Sim also sent in 2 jewels and says 100. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys have been so gracious to me. I appreciate y'all. Let me get in here. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, let me go ahead. So I won't forget. Let me close out this poll. Would you want Umar to lecture to your children? 6% said yes. 94% said no. Thanks everyone who voted on the poll. And if you're enjoying the show, as we wind this down, we got about 13 more minutes. Make sure you hit that like button. I don't plan on live streaming over the weekend unless something crazy happens. But I'm thinking maybe next weekend we can do like a marathon back to back, and then on Friday also do like a mini marathon and do Umar Johnson's top 10 rants of all time. Okay, because I have a list together. Okay, where are we? Okay, let's finish this up. Here we go. We're right at the end.
I'll tell you one more thing, and I'm gonna be quiet. Y'all not reading enough. The reason black.
Okay, how does he know that they're not reading enough? He doesn't know these kids at all. How does he know that? See, he assumes that, and he's negative. His view about black children is really, really negative. You know, I also have to say, these are different times too, because children, they will learn a lot off of the internet. I kid you not. Like, you can give them a book and they'll look at it and they might read some of it, but you can show them a documentary with like similar information and they'll consume it and they'll recite that back to you. So even what Umar's saying here, and I'm not saying that children shouldn't be reading, I'm just saying that this is a different time. As an example, for us older people, back in the day, we didn't have internet, we didn't have computers, we didn't have Chromebooks or any of that stuff. We had to lug around literally these thick books, and they were heavy too. We had backpacks. And we would have to take that to class, take it to the next class, blah, blah, blah. Then we bring them home and then we would study, we would read out of that. A lot of the reading that people are doing now, I'll say most of it that the children are doing now, it's off of their Chromebook. But Umar, he's so behind. In fact, my children, they don't bring books home. They haven't. You guys know that? Everything is, they just read on their Chromebooks, or sometimes they'll be on their phone. Now, if they're given a reading assignment where they have to check out a book, which is very rare, they'll check out a book from the library. That'll happen, and they'll have to read it that way. It'll be a physical book. That's very rare these days. It's amazing, because when we were growing up, everything, it was in a book. And then there were also, I can't remember what those were called. They weren't books, but they would be like, I'm going to say workbooks. I'll call it that. Sometimes we would get those too. But these days, these kids, they're not reading out of books not all that much. They do sometimes. Most of it is on their Chromebook. But you see how Umar's talking? He's so antiquated. And he's assumptive too. Like, these children, they're not reading. No, they're reading.
Black children are scoring so low on these tests. You're not reading enough. Every one of you should be reading a book a week.
Now, if he had more specificity, he said you should be reading a book a week on your phone, or an audio book, because they do that too. Or if you're reading a book on your Chromebook, that would be different. But the way Umar's talking, he's so antiquated. He's talking about physical books. And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually prefer physical books over, trying to read stuff on the screen. I prefer actual physical hard copies, but that's because I'm old. Okay? I've listened to audiobooks on my phone and all that stuff, but I prefer to sit down with a book and have it in my hand. But that's just me. Right? But that's a different time period compared to now. Umar, he don't know that.
Addition to what the school requires of you. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. I remember that. Yep, encyclopedias. Yep. I remember back real quick, the last story. I remember back in the day when you go to the library, there were no computers, so they had these file. The best way I can describe them is as file cabinets, and you would go through and you would have either the author. I can't remember if it's the author. I think it was the author or the title of the book. I think it was the author. You have the author's last name, and you would have to go. Let's say the last name is Berkeley. You would go into the file cabinet for B's, and then you would look through the file cabinet to see the B and then E. And then you go into that section and you go through it, and there are these little cards, and you flip through until you find Berkeley. It'll take a long time. It could take a long time till you find Berkeley. And then you look at it on the card, and it'll have a number on there to where it's located inside the library. Then you would go and you go try to find the book in the library based upon this is a whole different time now. You guys remember that? We would have to search. Okay. Now, with the technology, with computers, with the internet, with Google, you can actually go on Google, and a lot of the stuff that we used to have to look up back in the day, and it would take us who knows how much time to find, you can get it in a couple of seconds just by searching on Google. But see, Umar, he's so antiquated. He doesn't think like that because he's stuck in the past. Yep. What's up, information man? Yeah, there'd be an ISBN number. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then they would have a little piece of paper where you would write down, because you wouldn't take the card, because if you took the card, you would have to bring the card back and find out where it goes. The way it would work back then was you would look at the card, and then there would be a number to where in the library where to find it. And then you would write it down and you would write it on the piece of paper, and then you would go to find which area in the library, which row, and so forth and so on. And then you would have to go and find it. It would take a long time sometimes. Okay, I got to change this battery out. Okay. Anyway, that's back in the day. Good old days. Here we go.
That again. Every one of you should be reading a book a week in addition to what your school requires of you. If you ain't been to the public library in the past month, you behind. Some of y'all ain't been to the public library in the past year, you behind. And the reason I need you.
Again, this guy is so antiquated. I want to go off with this battery. These kids, it's not necessary for them to go to the library these days. They can do it on the internet. Where you guys going? What in the world? These kids. Yeah, they would be on 3x5 cards. Yeah. But you see how Umar talking? Let me change this battery out before we go out. Yeah, let me rewind it because I have commentary. I'll be right back.
You're not reading enough. Every one of you should be reading a book a week in addition to what the school requires of you. I'm going to say that again. Every one of you should be reading a book a week in addition to what your school requires of you. If you ain't been to the public library in the past month, you behind. Some of y'all ain't been to the public library in the past year, you behind.
Okay, how so, Craig? Where's the empirical evidence? Kids are not going to the library like that, Umar. It's 2026. You don't understand that. Now, would you like for them to go to the library? Yeah, sure. But they can just pull stuff up on the internet. And you don't have to go time, if they got to drive near, wasting gas, getting to the library, finding the book. No, they can go into Google and search. You can find a PDF file, or most of the stuff, they just already have it set up on their Chromebooks. You just access it from, that's how, when I went to college, the same thing. I didn't have any physical books when I went to college the second time. Now, the first time I did, but the second time, no. So what are you talking about, Umar? There's no need to go. There's nothing at the library that you can't find online for these kids. In fact, they have books that you can access through their Chromebooks. It's already set up. They don't got to do all that. So what are you talking about, Umar? And furthermore, how do you know that these kids are behind? You're so negative and you're so backwards and antiquated. One time, last point on this, and I'm going to let the rest break. We've got 6 minutes. One time, Umar was given advice to students who were graduating high school and that they were going to be going to college. And for them to write their college entrance letter, he said, make sure you have a typewriter. And I said, what did this guy say? He said a typewriter. You guys remember that? This was during COVID. A typewriter? I remember typewriters when I was a kid. By the time I get into college the first time, that was in 1993. Typewriters, it wasn't typewriters. There was these little things. They had a little keyboard on it, and it's electric. And then you just print the paper out. You guys remember that? But during COVID, people ain't using typewriters, and they're not using those things either because we have computers, we have laptops, Umar. In case you, anyway, this guy, he's so backwards. Yeah, that's what they were called. They were called word processors. Yep. You guys remember? It's like an electric typewriter, but Umar, he's talking about a typewriter. You remember the ones you push the button, the little thing go, and sometimes they get stuck, and you gotta go like this to get it there, go back and. I remember them days. Yeah. But by the time, that's still old technology, though. That's old. Even when I was a teenager, that's old. That's old technology. But Umar this was during COVID. That's what he said. He's so backwards. Yeah. Then you hit the thing and go, ding, and then go, then you start again. I wouldn't mind having one of those. Like if I had time, I would do a show with just like old tech and like new tech. And then I would have I already thought about to have a background. I would have the different tech like up against the background, like on shelves or whatever. And then I would do videos where I talk about it, and just the nerd part of me. But I ain't got time. All right. Anyway. Yeah. I remember. Yep. I remember that. I remember Brother Typewriter. Yep. Oh, you used to have one? Oh, you learned to type on a hammer style. Okay. Yeah, I didn't learn to type on a hammer style typewriter because by the time they started teaching, I remember the class. I think I was in ninth grade, and there was a class, and this guy he was like a nerd guy. Okay, he was older, but he's the one. We used to play Oregon Trail, but we also have these programs where we learn how to type. That's when I first started to learn, but I didn't really get into it until I got into college. Yeah. But the hammer style, that's from when I was a child. I remember those. Yep. It was like almost like a treat to be able to type on one. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. We're finishing up this now. Here we go. Thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hit that like button if you are. Okay, here we go.
And the reason I need you to read, because I don't go nowhere without 4 books. I don't go no.
Okay, don't nobody care about what you got going on, Umar. And it makes no difference how many books you have, whether you have 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, it makes no difference because you're still a bum from Philly living off your mama at the age of 52. So what's the point in having 4 books or 8 books or 16 or 32 or 64 or 100 anyway? See, but you see how Umar has to put himself in the mix as if he's the standard. You're not excellent, Umar. You're not special. You're just a bum from Philly. And that's okay. For you, that's okay. But you got everything to say to these kids. And you don't even take care of your own kids. Where did my kids just go? What in the world is going on? In my mind, it's late. And they just walked down and I said, where you going? Oh, we got to go take. I said, what? Where? And I just thought about it. Where they go? Anyway. These kids is crazy. All right, let's go.
Nowhere without 4 books. 6 college degrees, I don't go nowhere without 4 books.
See, that's him bragging. Okay. It's him bragging. Umar has at least 3 children, at least in Philadelphia alone. He has 3 baby mamas. I showed child support documents recently. He only claims 2. But there's also a question. I have a 4th. There's a fourth docket, and I have to cross-reference that to make sure that correlates to one of these 3 baby mamas. Because if it doesn't correlate to these 3 baby mamas, then that means that there's a 4th woman that they put him on child support and was successful, which would mean that he has 4 baby mamas and therefore 4 children. And just in Philadelphia alone, I'll propose he has more. What I know for a fact he has 3 in Philadelphia alone, but there could be 4. But I'm going to go with 3 because that's my best research as of right now that I can prove without a shadow of a doubt. I can prove it in court. 3, he only claims 2, and that's just in Philadelphia alone. It's extremely likely that Umar has other children around the world because he's been living a sexually promiscuous lifestyle for decades now and running through Black women all over the world for decades. Okay, but he only claims 2, and he's not an active participant in any of his children's lives. He's a deadbeat. He doesn't pay child support on time. He's a child support dodger. Okay, this is all statement of facts, and I can prove this in a court of law. Right? But he has everything to say about everybody else's kids. Y'all see that? Real quick, when's the last time? Because Umar, he's live streamed way more than I have over these many years. When was the last time you saw Umar live streaming and his children walk by and he has a conversation with his kids? Damn. Think about it. Not one time. And he always on social media running his mouth for decades. See, today, before I start the live stream, I don't know why they do this, but I tell them what time I'm going to start. I'll tell them in advance. They got all day. They got all last night to do whatever they need to do so that by the time I start, I don't have to, I'm not blaming them, but I don't have to start later than I was already going to start late. Okay. And then they start coming, I kid you not, right before the show. And today I was like, listen, you guys, I told you my schedule. I need this area to be cleared. If after I start, you want to come down, because they'll come down and grab snacks, but when I start, I need you guys I need this space to get started. And I tell them what my schedule is. But for whatever reason, so today, it happened today. And I said, listen, you guys got to listen, you guys, I'm not on here every single day. I'm not on here all throughout the day. Just when I start, please make sure that it's cleared out. And then if you guys got to come back later to get stuff or whatever out the refrigerator, then that's fine. But see, Umar, he don't have no stories like that. My kids just left. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, but I'm sure my wife, she's already done worked it all out. So where you guys going? I still don't even know what's going on. Anyway, in all these years, you never hear Umar tell a story about his children. And I can give you guys story after story. There was today, I kid you not, and we almost done. There was a turkey, and there's these turkeys that roam over here, and there's peacocks too. You rarely see the peacocks. I've seen, because there's nature trails over here. There's a lake right outside the window, but there's also deer. Every once in a while you'll see deer. Sometimes you see horses, but it's these nature trails and biking trails and all this kind of stuff. But there was when I came home today, there was a turkey, and I saw it walking. Okay, and then I came around and I parked, and by the time I parked, it was near the car. It was maybe about 10, 12 feet from where the car is. So I got out the car. I don't want to frighten it. I got the car real slow, and I looked back and it started going. Then I was going. I started walking to the house, and it followed me. Okay, and so by the time I get to the door, I get in and so forth. But then my children, they looked out the window and they saw it out there, and they went out there and they were taking pictures and stuff. See, Umar, he can't give you any. They probably took video too. He can't give you any stories like that. He can't. That's very telling. Okay, he's a deadbeat. He's not an active participant in his children's lives. And last year, his oldest daughter, came out and exposed him as a deadbeat. And then he goes in on his daughter and tells his followers, "This is horrible." To get into her DMs and attack and to go at her out online. And they did. And as a consequence, she had a mental breakdown and was admitted because she wanted to unalive herself. Horrible. And then she becomes homeless. Umar doesn't help with any of that stuff. She's out there in the streets doing all kinds of stuff. I kid you not, it's just horrible. Absolutely, it's just sad. Umar didn't help any of that. And yet this is the person that people platform. This is the person that they have speak at colleges and universities sometimes. This is the person in the Black conscious space. They still bring them out from time to time. And yeah, this is the person that comes and has the audacity to speak in front of these kids. I wouldn't have my dog around Umar. I wouldn't have my daughter's geckos around Umar. All right, we're finishing up now. Thank you guys so much. Here we go.
Because knowledge is not power, but it is a key to power. And you need to be reading, because when you read, you improve your vocab.
See how abusive he is? You need to be reading. Yelling. Who are you? Radar for Robin, he telling himself robbing people equals the Black community out of millions of dollars. Yeah, he's projecting. That's why I had to get up. You guys know I don't do that because I'm old now. I don't do that often, but I had to get up. This guy, it's incredible. His arrogance is uncanny. When he says they robbing people, he's talking about himself. He don't rob Black people out of millions of dollars for a fake funky school that doesn't exist. He calls it FDMG. It's head movies. Yeah, so robbing Black people, the Black community out of millions of dollars, living off their mama. That's Umar. He's living in his mama's closet in Section 8 housing. That's called projecting, and he does that a lot. By the way, Radio R for Robin, going back to those early days when I was researching Umar and reporting on Umar, I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I didn't know enough about Umar's backstory to tell when he's saying things, but he's talking about himself. These days, we all know it. So when he says living off their mama, that's him. He's projecting. He does that a lot. But back in the day, we didn't recognize, at least I didn't recognize, some other people may recognize, I didn't recognize that. But now, yeah, that's what I'm saying. For him to even be talking in front of these kids, and he's talking about himself, but he's projecting it onto them. Like this is what they're going to do if they don't listen to what he has to say. Thank you, Radio R for Robin. And then Oshun Initiative sent in 10 jewels, and it's a gold coin. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Well, thanks for all y'all. Thank you for being supportive of my YouTube page. I really do appreciate it. Okay, we're going to finish it up right now. I'll guarantee you. Here we go.
When you read, you improve your ability to talk. When you read, you improve your knowledge of facts and information. And when you read, you improve your ability to write. You know when that's going to matter? When you take them state assessments they give you in school. When you take them state assessments they give you in school. The reason the Chinese and the white kids are outperforming us, they're not more intelligent than you. I give intelligence tests for a living. They're not more intelligent.
No, he doesn't. He's lying again right there. He lies. So how can you get up here, Umar, and lie in front of these kids? You're not doing no educational assessment tests or any of that stuff or diagnoses. Where and when? Now, when I say when, since 2006, when? 2025, where in 2025? Okay, when 2024? Okay, where? You're lying, and you're lying to these kids. You don't do no assessments, and you don't do no diagnoses either. You're just a bum from Philly who pretends. You're a pretendian.
Intelligent than you. I give intelligence tests for a living.
Okay. By the way, remember yesterday I was talking about how Umar, he doesn't really say he doesn't say positive things about black children unless it's for comparative purposes to other children, like other groups of children. And this is what I mean. You guys remember that? Hit the one. So there's a difference. Umar, he won't just outwardly say, I haven't heard it. Now he may have, but I haven't heard it in my research. He won't outwardly say something positive about black children, which is telling in and of itself. But when he attempts to deal with the racial dynamics, when he wants to compare other groups of children to black children or black children to other groups of children, he'll frame it to where black children are better or superior, right? But he doesn't do that under normal circumstances, because most of the time when he's talking about black people, it's negative. When he's talking about black children, it's negative, just like we've seen inside of here. But for comparative purposes, he'll do that. And that's what I was talking about the other day. So this is an example of what I was talking about.
They are not more intelligent than the white kids are outperforming us. They're not more intelligent than you. I give intelligence tests for a living. They're not more intelligent than you. I give intelligence tests for a living. They are not more intelligent than you. They work hard.
Umar, you can lie about giving an intelligent test, but it doesn't, you can say it twice or three times. It doesn't change the truth. You're lying. It's amazing that he would get up here and lie in front of these kids.
Harder than you. They study harder than you. They believe in excellence, and they read more than they on social media. They read more than they playing video games. They read.
Okay, listen, you don't know that. And again, he's saying all of them. No, stop. Okay, there are so-called white kids. They ain't doing no reading. They on social media and doing all kind of other stuff. There's Asians too. I know some people are Asians. Yeah. There's Asian thugs. You guys know that? I kid you not. Here we go.
More than they practice in basketball, football, and rap. So I'm gonna end this. But I expect more from every one of you going forward. My kings and my queens. My princes and my princesses on Monday.
Okay, what about your daughters though, Umar?
4 days ago, I was in Jamaica, keynoting Marcus.
Here he go. He has to talk about himself. We're almost done.
It's Garvey's birthday. Marcus Garvey and Nat Turner have a small connection. Nat Turner was born before Marcus Garvey. He was born 1800. Marcus Garvey wasn't born until much later. But Marcus Garvey purchased a school from Nat Turner's grandson. And that became one of the schools of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the largest black organization in modern history that gave us the red, black, and green flag.
Said Umar, cut it. Them kids ain't worried about nothing. They not worried about nothing Umar got to say. Oh yeah, I know. I'm part Filipino, so I know. You ain't telling me. You know, back in the day, because Filipinos are like the black Asian. I can say it because, like I said, I'm part Filipino. Back in the day, there were Samoan Bloods, and the Black Bloods were scared of the Samoan Bloods. I kid you not. They was crazy. I kid you not. So, but Umar, he be telling these stories. He act like it's all bad. Black people, it's all bad, but then these Asians or the white people, they're all good. It's just not. It's not how it works. Okay, there's all types of complexities, but Umar, he'll spin these narratives. Okay, let's go.
So when I was speaking to the young people in Kingston, Jamaica Monday, I told them the same thing I'm telling you now. Stop playing with your future. Because guess what? The older you get, the faster your life gonna go. Today you 13. You wake up, you're gonna be 18. You wake up, you're gonna be 21.
Stop, Umar. It does. He does. I understand the point he's making, but these kids, you're giving them a falsehood here. Okay, so you're 5. You wake up, you're 50. Stop.
You wake up, you're going to be 30. Wake up again, you're going to be 40. The older you get, the faster your life goes, which means Dr. Umar wants you to have your life already laid out by the time you're 25 or 30. By the time you're 25 or 30, you should be done with your college, done with your trade school. You should be buying your first house, and you should be looking for your wife or looking for your husband. That's all you should be doing. Not coming out of jail.
What? Hold on a second. What did he just say?
30, you should be done with your college, laid out by the time you're 25 or 30. By the time you're 25 or 30, you should be done with your college, done with your trade school. you should be buying your first house, and you should be.
Okay, let me just say something. Life doesn't work like that for everyone, Umar. Okay, it sounds nice, but life happens. Okay, Umar, you're 52 with 6 degrees. You spent 20 years in higher education. Where's your house? And no, your mama closet don't count on secondary housing, homeboy. That don't count. Where's your house? Where's your wife? So the point I want to make is that the standard that the idea, because it's idealism, the ideal that Umar Johnson wants these children to adhere to, he doesn't even adhere to himself. He ain't got no business talking to these kids. He's a demotivational speaker.
By the time you 25 or 30, by the time you 25 or 30, you should be done with your college, done with your trade school. You should be buying your first house, and you should be looking for your wife or looking for your husband. That's
Umar, he really does. He lives in fantasy land.
That's all you should be doing. Not coming out of jail, not looking for a place to stay, not looking for a minimum wage job. Because let me explain something to you.
Here he goes.
If you don't do something with your life after high school, you will make minimum wage for the rest of your life. All of y'all from Virginia?
He's such a downer. Stop, Umar. There's plenty of people that didn't do well in high school, didn't go to college, and they're not making minimum wage. He's so negative. He's so negative. Did he say straight school? I didn't hear him say that. Did I miss that? I did not hear Umar say that. I wouldn't be surprised because he'd be saying anything. I'm saying these poor kids. These poor kids gonna go home. Oh, my life is over. I'm not gonna be successful. I'll be making minimum wage at 50, like Umar. Okay. Anyway, he's so negative. All right, we're at the end. Here we go.
You should be buying your first house, and you should be looking for your wife or looking for your husband. That's all you should be doing. Not coming out of jail, not looking for a place to stay, not looking for a minimum wage job. Because let me explain something to you. If you don't do something with your life after high school, you will make minimum wage for the rest of your life. All of y'all from Virginia? What's the minimum wage in Virginia?
That is just horrible.
Virginia, about
Umar to say that.
Roughly $9 an hour. Minimum wage, what is it? $12.50. $12.50. Let me ask you a question. If you don't do nothing with your life after high school, you will make $12.50 for the rest of your life an hour.
What? What? This guy, Umar, man.
You pay rent with that? Can you pay a car note with that? Can you raise a baby with that? Can you pay your cell phone bill with that? Can you take your lady out with that? Can you pay your insurance with that?
So this is horrible.
So if you're making $12.50 an hour for the rest of your life, that means you're going to have to also be a what? Part-time criminal.
Here he goes.
Criminals are not born, they are made by people who didn't tell them when they was your age to stop playing with your life, or you'll spend the rest of your life in a prison or on the street struggling to get by. But if you go to trade school, if you go to college, if you go to real estate school, you'll make a whole lot more than $12.50 an hour. See, the difference between a job and a career is what? What's the difference between a job and a career? A job, they tell you what to do. They don't care what you think or how you feel. You do what I tell you to do. That's a job. You know what a career is? A career.
He's so mean.
Is when they ask you to use your intelligence, use your training, use your experience, use your knowledge to impact what you do. You see that? A job, they tell you what to do. A career, they want you to decide how to do this job and how to solve this problem. When you work a job, you got to punch the clock. Punch the clock when you come to work, punch the clock when you go out of work. When you have a career, you don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the year. You get paid by the month. They don't care if you was on the job 40 hours or 20 hours.
All right, Umar, just say that you're salaried, and you don't have to do all this, Umar. Anyway, almost done.
Did you do the work? Because they're trusting your intelligence, your knowledge, and your expertise. I don't want you to have a job. I want you to have a career. I'm going to close with a quote from the Honorable Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, but Umar, you don't have a job or a career, and you don't even use your social media to generate revenue as a business. He's not the one to talk. And I already talked about what he could do. and how he can do it. And he could be making 120 to 130 K to start. If he started in January and he got set up and he did it appropriately, by the end of the year, Umar, he would be making anywhere between a 120, 130, somewhere around there. But then he could just scale it up over time to at a certain point, he's making 200K, 250K. He could do it. But he's lazy and he don't understand technology and he don't want to work because it's work. Okay. Even when I know we have a good time, we goof off. I consider this to be a job. I consider it to be a part-time. This is work for me. That's why when I tell my kids, I say, listen, I'm going to be starting at this time. I need you guys to make sure you have everything, squared away, and because they have to understand that. They still don't care. They do what they're going to do. But Umar, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that mentality. For him, if he can just keep collecting donations for a school that doesn't exist, that's the easiest way that Umar can survive. But there's nothing excellent about that. It's not progressive. And he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have a career, and he doesn't have a business. And he can do that with social media. He can have a business. He can just, that would be it, but not him. But he's going to tell these kids all these things. And he wants them to have a career. He don't have a career. He wants them, if he, a job, okay, fine. He don't have a job. He's not the one to talk, okay? All right. We got about a minute on this. Here we go.
And I see you have His Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I on your shirt, one of our greatest Pan Africanists. I was with my Rastafari brothers in Kingston, in Jamaica this past weekend.
See, he has to make it about himself. Yeah, listen, to start, he can do 120, 130, 140. And it wouldn't be that difficult either. It's going to take work, but it wouldn't be difficult. But he can scale it up over time to where he's making 250. Back in his heyday, if he had done it back then, by now he'd probably be making about 354. See, he wouldn't even need to be scamming with this FDMG school scam. So it wouldn't even be necessary. One last point, and we're going to finish because it's only about 30 seconds. He could have done both. He could have used social media as his primary business. And then he could also, if he was serious about opening up a school, he could have been doing this whole thing with the donations for FDMG. But then also the money that he makes from his online business, legitimately, he can put some of that money, not all of it, but some of that money he can put towards FDMG, and then also archive that for people to see so that it shows that he has skin in the game. How much money has Umar Johnson donated to FDMG? Zero. But he could have done both. All right. He didn't. He didn't capitalize. And he could have, especially in his heyday. If he had it together in his heyday, when there were people standing room only and people sending him crazy amounts of money. By 2016, by the end of 2016, he's at $1 million after raising money from the middle of 2014. If he had capitalized back then, that's why I've been saying, Umar, he's received all of the support that he needed to be successful in life, but also with this FDMG project. But if he capitalized on his celebrity, if you will, back in the day, which is not the same as today, because most people see him as a clown. But I'm talking about in the early days when he presented as a school psychologist and there were professionals coming out to listen to Umar. If he had capitalized on that, there would be no reason for Umar to be doing all this scamming and scheming. And he wouldn't have to live this life where he's just trying to survive. It's just such a waste. It's such a waste. Thank you, Stoic. Unique sent in 10 jewels and says thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then what's up, information man? Salute Sir says, wait a minute. Umar has 6 degrees and lives in his mom's closet, doesn't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of. Sad speak on it. Yeah. 6 degrees and he's received millions of dollars for a school that doesn't exist. Why is Umar destitute and living off of his mama at the age of 52? Well, we can start with the mental health. Okay, we can look at the substance abuse. We can look at the different addictions, food, clothes, gambling. Because we can ask the money, we can ask the question, where the money go? And then, of course, we can look at just Umar, his mindset. Okay, his mentals are off too. But his mindset when it comes to Black people, the narcissism. Black people are nothing more than a resource. They call it narcissist, and you know this. They call this a narcissistic supply. Y'all go look it up. Narcissistic supply. And Umar's been living like that for decades now. This is nothing new. Nothing that we talk about with dealing with Umar in 2026, nothing is new when it comes to Umar's mentality towards Black people. He has a very negative view about Black people, and he sees Black people as a resource. That's his primary resource via donations. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a legitimate business. He's not a school psychologist. He's not a therapist or a psychotherapist. He doesn't even have an office. He's been homeless since 2019. And part of the reason why is because of all of these other factors: mental health, substance abuse, different levels of addiction. And then Umar's lazy. He's been enabled to be lazier as the years progress. And as he's gotten older, he's become lazier and lazier because his body is not what it used to be. Just like my body is not what it used to be. As you get older, and you said it, you told me this. I think you emailed me, you said you make sure you're taking care of yourself. Yeah, you're right. And I've been working on that. I still got stuff to work on, but I've been working on that. But in Umar's case, you put all of these factors and it allows him to be lazier and lazier and lazier. And his donors, and no disrespect to them, but they've enabled him to be this way. So instead of him taking the route of using those 6 degrees for good, getting a job where he's utilizing and maximizing on his degrees, he doesn't do that because it's easier for him to sit back and collect money for a school that doesn't exist. It's easy. He could use social media as a legitimate business, and he would be doing 6 figures easily to start. But it takes work, it takes dedication, it takes commitment. It also takes organization. Umar doesn't have those qualities. So it's easier for him to sit back and just expect Black people to support him so that he can continue to survive, not so that he can thrive. Because if he was thriving, he would have his own vehicle. If he was thriving, he would have a woman in his life, a good woman. If he was thriving, he wouldn't be living off his mama in Section 8 housing at the age of 52. He wouldn't be homeless. If he was thriving, he would have been an active participant in his children's lives. If he was thriving, he would have already opened up these trap banners in women in Delaware. He would have already finished the documentary. He would have already finished the Rules of Romance book, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's not thriving, he's surviving. And there's no excuse for it, except for Umar. He's a perpetual failure. No one can tell me that Umar has not received all of the support that he needed to be successful in life or successful with this FDMG project, because it's not true. He's received all of the support that he's needed. And here he is at the age of 52, sitting on 6 degrees. It's 5, but yeah, we'll go with Umar's story. 6 degrees. And what does he have? What does he have to show for it? Hey, that's what I'm saying. It's a cautionary tale. Umar is a cautionary tale. Salute, sir. Thank you for the super chat. All right. And then YouTube devices, at this point, we'll have to sell Shango to... I said that a long time ago. We're not going to go there. Okay. All right. We got about 20 seconds on this. Let's finish this up. Thank you guys again. Make sure you hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. Here we go.
On Monday, Marcus Garvey said, without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. Without confidence in yourself, knowing who you are and why you're here, you're twice defeated. But with confidence, you have won before you have ever started. I know I'm the best psychologist that ever lived. I know it.
See that? Arrogance. Okay, he's not even a psychologist. He's not a practicing psychologist. He's just a bum from Philly. But you hear how he talks? Okay, a lot of this is just boasting and making himself appear to be big and important in front of these kids, and then shaming them and making them seem like they ain't shit. But you guys remember he did the same thing with his daughter last year, because he was like, yeah, when I was your age, by the time I was your age, I was in college, I was doing this, and I was getting this degree, blah, blah, blah. And what are you doing? That's how he was talking. That's part of the rant too, the top 10 rants. Someone had emailed me about that. I forgot about that one, where he was disparaging his own daughter.
I know I'm the best black school psychologist that ever existed. I know it. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Not arrogance, not pride, honest truth.
No, it's arrogance and it's pride because it's nothing true about what he just said. He's not even a psychologist.
And I want you to get that within you because God made you great. And this skin color we got, this is not a badge of shame. This is a badge of pride. That blackness, that's energy. That blackness, that's power. And don't you ever...
Again, Umar, he says that, but it's really him. He's the one who has issues with his skin color, and he's not even particularly dark. Yeah, that's just him projecting.
Walk around asking anybody else to validate who you are. You got to walk in the room already knowing. You don't go asking white folks to validate your blackness. You walk into the room already knowing what your blackness is.
Okay. I mean, he really has such a high opinion of white people. Like black people go around saying, hey, this validate me. What are you talking about? It's 2026, Umar.
Harriet Tubman said.
There you go.
Queen Mother Harriet Tubman said, I freed hundreds of slaves. I freed hundreds of slaves. I could have freed more. The problem was they didn't even know that they were slaves. Black power.
All right, there you have it. Yeah, this guy is diabolical. He ain't got no business being around no kids. He ain't got no business talking to no kids. And much of what he's doing here is just projecting. That's all he was doing. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, I want to thank everyone who sent in super chats. If you sent in super stickers or gifts during the live stream, thank you for all of your support. I appreciate it. I mean that sincerely. Okay, and shout out to the mods also for handling business. I don't plan on live streaming over the weekend unless something crazy happens. We'll be back next Monday. The next thing we'll cover Umar, where he is speaking in Detroit. And from what I gather, James said, I haven't watched the video, but James says that there's a woman who asked Umar about protesting, something to this effect, protesting for the certificate of occupancy. And what this will show, because I haven't watched the video, but it's going to show how there are people who do believe Umar with this lie about the black Jamaican immigrant sabotaging FDMG and the certificate of occupancy, and that they're waiting for Umar to take the next step to actually protest. Listen, there's nothing to protest. He had a protest back in the day. It was a anti-protest against a protest from his haters, and there was no protest for his haters. But he had people standing out there in front of these track vandals in the cold, and it was a debacle. Okay, so we'll get into that video next week. Also, for your members, we will be getting together to do part 4 of our series on Cheyenne Bryant, and it's kind of gotten out of control. It's just wild, but we'll get into part 4 next week. Thank you guys again for tuning on in, and please enjoy your evening and as the rest of your evening. And as we always do.
My message. Thank you, Sister Avanti, $10 coming on the Cash App. Thank you, sister. Next time, make it 20, but thank you for that 10. I know you barely had that. Thank you, sister.
All right. Yeah, shout out to Black Marl. Thanks for doing this track. Next time, make it 20. And we want to wish Sister Avanti all goodness and wellness $10 in her life. Okay. All right.
I really do.
Thank you, Afro Punch Chick. And Keon say, you're welcome, Tiffany. Yeah, good morning for y'all in the UK.
Next time, make it 20.
She came up smiling now.
Yeah, she sure was. Yeah.
Said, brother, here's $10. I'm supporting you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Francisco. Thanks for reminding me.
I looked at the queen and I nodded my head.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's Umar's favorite word.
Said, thank you, sister.
And donate.
This is what I said.
Next time, make it 20.
Times are hard.
Thank you,
I understand. Everybody doing the best they can, but dreams this big take more than hope. We're trying to build, not barely cope. Everybody saying we not fisking flat tires.
Thanks, James. Salute to you too.
We not selling water ices.
Y'all good brother.
We building institutions, family. We not fisking flat tires. We not selling water ices. We building institutions, family. Next time, make it 20. If the blessings come your way, I appreciate the 10. But here's what I gotta say.
Hey,
next time, make it 20. Let the whole congregation see.
Exactly.
We not fisking flat tires.
We
Yeah, it's a good
building
song.
institutions, family. Hey.
Thank you, Queendom. S.A. Slade. Soul Power. What's
People asking questions.
Thanks, Deborah.
Every
Have a good
single
weekend.
day.
Joshua. At least
How you gonna build it? How you gonna pay?
Okay.
I say one donation, one dream at a time. Everybody pitching in to help us climb. This ain't about quick
y'all
fixes.
crazy.
This ain't about
Thanks,
little
Sean.
gimmicks. Trying to
Yeah,
leave
that's real
something
talk, really.
standing tall for the next generation.
You're right on that.
And all we
Sure
not
did.
fisk and flat tires.
Morning from
We not selling water
UAE.
ices. We building institutions, family.
Oh, United
We
Arab
not fisking
Emirates.
flat
Okay.
tires.
Yeah, shout out to the
We
United
not
Arab
selling water
Emirates.
ices.
Abu Dhabi,
We
Dubai,
building
Sharjah,
institutions,
Ajman,
family.
Kuwait,
Next
Ras
time make
Al
it
Khaimah,
20.
and
If the
Fujairah.
blessings come your way, I appreciate.
Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
it. But here's what
And thanks for
I
the super
gotta
chat.
say.
Thanks for the offer, Robin.
Next time make it 20. Let the whole congregation see. We not fisking flat tires. We building
You're welcome, Leon.
institutions, family. Institution builders.
Oh, that's okay. Check out the archive. It was a good show. I got
Institution
those
builders.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah, okay.
What we not doing? We not fisking flat tires.
Okay.
We not selling water ice.
Yeah, we won't be grooving.
One more time. One more time. We doing it.
Thanks so
We
much.
building institutions, family.
Yeah, 4 books on porn. Next time, make it 20. Yeah. Rest in peace to the brother that did Optimus Prime. Optimus was my favorite cartoon character growing up. And also Dolly Parton. Yeah, he passed too. Last year with the podium as a special guest. Let me get some words in. Okay. You told
That's
me
the
what?
message for today.
Y'all crazy.
We building institutions, family, and we're doing it all the way. We not fisking flat tires.
We not fisking.
We not selling water ices. We building institutions, family. We not fisking
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
We
Okay.
not selling water ices. We building
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
institutions,
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
family.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Next time, make it 20.
All right. Okay, thanks again. Yeah, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll be back on Monday unless something happens. You know, Umar, he ain't been up there in trap battles and I don't know how long. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, thank you for all of the support. I really do appreciate it. And thanks to the mods, too, for handling business. Shout out to everyone inside of the Cookie Crush chat. Okay, I love y'all. Talk with y'all soon. Take care. Peace.